Hello there. How are we? Long time no see and all that. Strangers from interwebs. Hope you are well. I've been busy, so taking some time away, a few things to deal with, you know how it goes. Hope you are all good and all that. People that I don't know, hope you're well. Hang on here, I get a wee wipe my face because it's kind of warm in this shed. I've overdone it again. So, anywho, what have I titled this again? Laws of motion, direction, gravity, all that stuff. Well, what I'm going to speak about here, I've spoke about before, you know, and I've got a few wee examples here that we're going to go through, and I want to just lay this out. I see again that the agents of propaganda are popping up and trying to ridicule some verifiable aspects that you can, you know, test for yourself. You know, again, when it comes to this, if you're hearing this, then what I'm saying is only what I can test and know for myself. So it's then up to you to go and see what reality shows you. Know what some fucking dipshit on YouTube is saying or how they're going to sway you by usually some emotional fucking sway and influence. So the majority of the, you know, propaganda never focuses on content. It focuses purely on the people, the person, and it'll attack them from various different forms and avenues. But we'll get to that a wee bit later on. Got a few things that I want to have a look at here. This Omegle thing, which was absolutely astounding to me. I will highlight that, and you know, for parents out there, I highly suggest that you have a look at what your children are involved in, because things like Omegle, for me, are pretty dangerous. So I'll highlight my reasons why, and I'll show you a couple of wee bits about that. But first and foremost, you know, we're going to get into this laws of motion, gravity, direction, because regardless of whether we're talking about the shape of the earth, we've got aspects of reality going on that for me are unanswered. And I see a lot of misrepresentation going on, particularly obviously from the heliocentric globe model, and how it defines things. So we'll have a wee look at, you know, what they would call gravity, direction, yada yada. As I say, many people have probably heard me talking about this before, so if you've heard it, you don't want to hear it again, jog on. Because for me, I'm going to keep rubbing salt in the wounds. I'm going to keep prodding the open wound with a big salty finger and a raggedy nail. Right? And I'm going to keep poking it until it fucking submits. Or I start to see some intellectual honesty of people actually discussing these things openly, because as of yet, I see fucking nobody willing to face it. So that should tell you a hell of a lot. I'll also have a wee look at the previous video I done in regards to the guy Conspiracy Cats and the other character. We'll have a wee look at one of the guy's quick response, and we'll tear that apart. You know, there's a lot of sophistry going on with this whole question, a lot of psychological mind games and warfare going on. So we'll have a wee look. For me, you know, I don't need to call anybody names. I don't need to make assertions about them getting paid to, you know, partake in any pushing of any agendas or narratives. All I can do is simply question their reasoning processes. By questioning the reasoning processes of assertions and things that people are saying, you will start to paint the solid picture of what is actually going on. So we need to understand that form of language, you know, and for me, I'm always looking for the reasoning processes behind things. What's the reason for statements being made? Where is any statement from any human being being made? How does it break down and fall at some rooted point of origin? Because everything has a reasoned point. Eh? Everything. So, anywho. When we talk about, people talk about a flat earth, we hear a lot of stuff about the globe will come back and say, well, what dictates downward? You know, flat earthers and other people will say density, relative density, density and buoyancy. When the globe proponents and people like myself have been pointing out that there's still a direction factor to be taken into account here. So, let me just get my bearings. I'm going to say hello and we'll get into it. And by the way, I'm missing the Saturday night things for last week and this weekend, I'm going to take a couple of weeks away from it. I'm not giving up my Saturday evenings just to have the same old crap. I can't be bothered listening to people's waffle or people trying to, you know, praise me or just antagonise me. I cannot be arsed. When I come on a Saturday, I'm looking to have, you know, discussions about things that are of interest, that stimulate my mind. Okay? I'm not just going to give my Saturday up to sit about putting up with fucking dipshits, you know, constantly trying to prod and antagonise, you know. If you want to come and have a reasoned discussion about any aspect of me and the content I put out, then that's fine. But just to put up with, you know, mindless barrage of fucking music and interruption of total idiocy, I'm not going to waste my time with it, to be honest with you. So, just so that people know, this Saturday, I'm not going to be on. You're being punished. Taking the sweeties away. How yous all doing? David Marks, Boris Chops, Cheris Rosen, P Murray, Level Earth, Sky's the Limit, Maggie M, how you doing? Just Ask, Ellen Degenerates, Celtic 67, Midnight Gardener, Tony T, Flat Earth Preacher, Hazmat, TP in a 3, Big Red, Tony Dixon, Des, how you doing? Bonjour. Individual, Individual Perspective, Stationary Plane, Martin Haley, Bloody Stickle in Water, World Without Curve, Benjamin, 54321, Party Pack, how you doing? Angus, Magumba, how you doing? Witty Woo, Beyond Belief Souls, something, X4XOR, Bandsaw Bandit, Clever Cat, and people realize every religion and every idea, everything wrote down is written by man, meaning useless, you were there yourself. That's right. That's right. You know, this is what I keep saying to people. You know, the majority of the ideas and the concepts that people adhere to and what they call a life are just delusions. You do not know where you are. You do not know where this place is, its purpose, or your place within it. Yet we have people, societies, cult yours, you know, organising themselves according to certain philosophies, ideas, concepts about their existence, and then following and pursuing those delusional ideas. Without the fundamentals, you know, what are you partaking in? Anyway, James Diggle, Rob Redding, Pandemonium, how you doing? Sweat Brazy, Gunnar Hegg, El Diablo 93, why is Russian Vids dissing you? You know, Russian Vids is a propaganda agent. I'll get to, you know, morons like him shortly. Somebody messaged me to say there was another idiotic hit piece video, a hit piece video up that's not even his work. It's the work of guys like Skyfly Bry and the other globe trolls. So that should tell you a lot about somebody like Russian Vids. You know, I can't be bothered with these creepy wee morons. They've got nothing to offer you. They'll keep you in perpetual bewilderment, scared of some big bad entity that uses fucking arbitrary numbers and wee symbols to scare you and spook you and all that stuff. We'll get to taking a pish right out of them once I get to some of the other stuff. Just right on cue, we'll get Skyfly Brian messaging me. Go away, stalker. Many times you got to be told, I'm going to contact the police now because I'm now in fear of my life. Because you just don't take a fucking telling. Either that or you come and face me and I bitch slap you into touch, son. Cheers, Gav. Right, where am I? So, I've now lost my flint and my lighter. What the fuck is happening here? It's the Illuminati, the powers that be. They wrote 33 on a blackboard and made my flint pop or something. What's going on? Just bear with me a wee second here because I need to sort this out. So people like that, people that make, you know, propaganda videos, hit pieces, they don't deserve any attention really. The only time I'm going to give them attention is to point out their tactics. Because they don't represent objective inquiry, they don't represent intellectual honesty, They're just disruptors. They're only there to sway the people who are operating from emotion. And that's the problem with the majority of human beings. They don't operate on reason. They don't operate on a discernment with a filter process of what they're taking in from an external source. They just operate on, habitual patterns, preconceived notions and ideas, and then you can use triggers to just affect them and sway them into whatever pen you like. So guys like Russian Vids and his ilk are exactly that. They're little sheepdogs desperately trying to herd. They don't have the capability to rationally discuss any propositions or things that are being spoken about or offered up. The only thing they're going to do is go, look, he's wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt and he went like that for a split second or done that or something. Or there's a 3 on the back wall somewhere maybe. The flames made 3, look, he's evil. Fuck's that go to do with objective inquiry? So, let me screen share here and let's get in about this. It's going to be lots of whiteboard activity. Intellectual heavyweight. Scientific genius. As long as you want a fucking whiteboard. Right. So let's get a few things sorted out here. Where are we? Let me just see. See if that screen share on the right. So many people have seen this, how things will separate into density layers. I'm sure many have seen this. Now the thing is here is we have the density layers, right, but there's still a directional factor. They're stacked on top of each other. They're no side by side. Okay? So we have a definite factor of denoting downwards in direction. So we have to always remember that what dictates that these are going to separate into these layers. We have to get to an initial cause of that, right? Or even try and reason our way to possible causes, right? So let me just see here. Direction. Relative direction. For instance, left to right, forward, backwards, up, down, blah, blah, blah. Relative direction. The most common relative directions are left, right, forward, backwards, up and down. No absolute direction corresponds to any of the relative directions. So, if I'm standing here in the position I am, I know my up, my down, my left, my right and every other direction from that. So I can use the horizontal and the vertical and have every other possible direction from it. But that's relative to my position that I'm at right now. If you're 100 yards away from me, my straight up, my perfect vertical straight up at 90 degrees is not true for you because you're in a different position for me. So as it says there's no definite, but that's where I want to differ. This is where I beg to differ. Saying there is no absolute inertial frame of reference. There are definite relationships between the relative directions. However, left and right, forward and back and up and down are 3 parts of complementary directions, each pair blah blah blah. Right. I don't really need any of this. Where am I here? So, just bear with me because I've got so many opened up here. Let's start with, this is for kids, so this should be easy for you, right? Laws of motion, so this one I want. And we'll get to him in a minute.
There are a lot of things happening in the world. Objects move, fall, and rest all around us. You may think you understand why things move, or don't move. But did you know that the forces acting on these objects can be measured and their motion predicted Renowned English scientist Sir Isaac Newton wanted to understand the world better. He thought he could describe the movements of the universe through mathematical observation. In 1687, he published these observations in a book, which outlined his understanding of the laws of motion. These 3 laws of motion are still in use today and can help us understand the relationship between a body and the forces acting on it. Newton's first law of motion is often stated as, an object in motion will stay in motion, and an object at rest will stay at rest, unless acted upon by an outside force.
Sometimes they'll change that to an unbalanced force. So, if you take the square frame of this, and I was at one side and I was exerting, my weight, 18.8 stone, and you had your weight of 18.8 stone, that would be a balanced force. The thing wouldn't go anywhere, it would stay still. But if you were 12 stone and I was 18.8 and I lean against it, it's going to move. So I would be the unbalanced force. There'd be an unbalance between that. Okay, so
this law is also called the law of inertia, since inertia is the tendency of an object to keep doing what it's doing. You have experienced Newton's first law if you have ever used a swing on a playground. In order to start swinging, you have to use a lot of force, but once you get going, it can be hard to stop.
And the force, as I pointed out before, when we're talking about motion, we'll probably get into this again a bit more, is by some surface, some material thing impressing on some other material thing, so pressing against it. We'll get to the definitions again of pull and push and all this.
Here on Earth, there are some forces working on objects all the time. When you throw a ball upward, it doesn't keep going up forever because the force of gravity pulls it downward.
So again, in some of these educational videos apparently for children, we'll get pseudoscience being invoked, gravity and its mechanisms of creating motion and directions by somehow, this underneath it somehow gets a hold of this by invisible magical means and brings it towards it.
Once it hits the ground, friction, or resistance caused by surfaces rubbing together, will eventually bring it to a stop. Newton's second law says that force is the product of mass times acceleration. Mass is the amount of matter, or stuff, in an object. To make something accelerate or speed up, you have to apply a force.
And that force is a pressure. Something pressing on it.
The amount of force it takes to move an object changes depending on how mass...
Every mechanism of this machine here is one component pressing on another component to achieve the desired goal, which is to lift huge amounts of earth and put it onto the back of the truck. But every single mechanical component and interaction between each component is one part pressing on another part.
Massive it is. Think about it. You would need more force to move a bowling ball than to move a beach ball of the same size. The greater the mass of the object, the more force it will take to accelerate the object, and applying more force will make the object move faster.
So that just means if you get a big rock, you need to push on it harder in order to make it move. This is a lot of the problem with this linguistic stuff. They make things more complicated than it actually has to be. And for me, it's been made much more complicated because of the agenda to push pseudoscientific notions of our reality and how it actually functions. So again, we can look at aspects within the reference frame, but then they'll try and when they go to the actual, reference frame, that being the Earth, it's all different. It all behaves differently, which is total and utter bullshit. We're objective inquirers and we're going through a process of understanding reality. So when we get these dipshits coming along and trying to invoke other magical means of motion, acceleration, yada yada, then we have to ask serious questions about it because it does not conform to how we understand the laws of motion.
Newton's third law of motion
And I mean that by way of practicality. They will assert these things by use of rhetoric, sophistry, word salads, not by something definitive like a practical reference.
Says that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. If you exert a force on an object, it exerts an equal force back on you.
So pay attention to some of these statements that are made. It's going to be relevant when we get to it.
For example, a ball hitting the ground exerts force downward. The floor exerts an equal force upward. This is the principle that allows rockets to launch or jellyfish to swim.
Now that's right, because the rocket's pushing off of something. It's pushing off the ground, the solid ground beneath it, and once it's up, it's continually pushing off the mass of the air, the substance, because it needs some sort of substance to push itself against in order to achieve motion.
By exerting a force downward, an equal and opposite force pushes upward, and the
As long as you've got something to resist.
Object accelerates. We can also see the third law in action when birds fly. Their wings press down against the air. The air pushes up against their wings, allowing them to move upwards. Another good example of this law is skateboarding. The skater pushes backwards against the ground with their foot. The ground pushes forward with equal force. Since the wheels of the skateboard reduce the friction between the person and the ground, they are...
So notice how they're using the words that the ground is pushing. Right? No resisting. It's pushing back up.
Are able to move forward for some time before forces slow them down again. Although these three laws were written down more than 300 years ago, they are still important now for understanding the way things move, and represent the foundation of classical mechanics.
Oh, look, here we go. We've got the tired old, oh, but a chug of war means you're peeling. Aye, they're taking the rope towards them, but as I say, if you look at the points of interaction between their hands and the rope, they're applying a pressure down onto the rope and inwards towards themselves, still applying the pressure in order to bring the rope towards them.
I hope you enjoyed learning about Newton's three laws of motion today.
It was smashing. Spanks. So here, forces acting in straight lines. An object will remain at rest or move at a constant velocity in a straight line unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. This means that if the force acting on an object are balanced, then the object will remain stationary if it was already stationary. The force of static friction is what pushes your car forward. The engine provides the force to turn the tyres, which in turn pushes backwards against the road surface. So, what was I looking for here? What are the four types of forces? The four, I know that bit, right? 5 types of forces: applied force, gravitational force, normal force, frictional force, air resistance force, tension force, spring force. All these things are saying the same thing. It's one thing coming into contact with another thing and applying a pressure to it. If you apply enough pressure that you overcome the mass, the weight of any object, you will move it. So let me just stop this now, just till we come back here again. I'm going to highlight this again. So, object here, object here. They'll start talking about attractive forces and how this object can affect this object by some magical means. The only way for this object to affect this object is by tethering it, either here at the front, so you'd need to make some sort of loop for it to hang round. Then as you tie it round, the point of pressure is going to be here, going in this direction. So if I can move this, I can apply a pressure here. So if I was to push on this box here, pressing it with my hands in that direction, this tension is going to be taken up. The pressure is now going to be exerted on the inside of the eyelet, forcing that to go in that direction. Simple, people should understand that by now. problem we then have is when they start talking about attractive forces and how this can get this to go there without either the demonstration that I gave you or by bringing it somehow round the back here and applying a pressure on the back wall. You can't have an interaction here unless, again, as I said, there's some flow of whatever material that's going to flow inwards to, say, you know, counter space, as Ken Wheeler would talk about when we talk about magnetism, and that there's a flow that's going inwards towards counter space that carries the object in that direction. We're still talking about a pressure being applied. There's something flowing in a particular direction in order to achieve motion. Now, when something's flowing, it comes into contact with something else. One surface contacts another surface, puts it into motion. Right? There's no pull. It's only a descriptor for bringing something closer to yourself. If you want to bring something closer to yourself, you have to apply a pressure to it to bring it closer to yourself. So, don't need that. Let's go on to the next one. Notice how they're all fucking loaded with rockets and cartoon globes.
Hi, my name is Professor Mac, and today I'm studying a law which affects us every day, and that law is Newton's law of universal gravitation. Gravitational force is an amazing force of nature.
So they talk about it in a force. So what they're talking about here is saying it's a force that somehow dictates and is a cause of motion and direction.
You may think of it as a force of attraction.
See,
that is because
attraction, again, this word of some metaphysical, mystical, magic voodoo bullshit that does not conform to the laws of motion or any practical reference we can look at in reality whatsoever.
Because every object attracts every other object.
No, it does not,
Whether
you
that
fucking
is me,
liar. What are you talking about?
You, or any of the items around you. This attraction is due to you and the objects having mass, where mass is the amount of matter in you and in the objects.
Yes, mass does not mean weight or direction or any of these things. It's just how much matter is within any specific object.
The larger the masses, the greater the force of attraction.
The greater the force of attraction. No.
Just think about that for a moment. There is a force of attraction, a gravitational force, between you and every other object around you, due to you having mass and the other object having mass.
So let's just have a wee quick look here. Where is it? So they'll always show you, anybody who's seen it, a visual representation of gravity will show you on a 2D planar surface, and it's when you put the weight into it or the mass, it warps this fabric. Now on this plane here you can see there's a problem because everything's going to fucking roll into the bottom here, right? Everything would just fall in and roll to the fucking bottom. So obviously they've got to come up with some 3D visual representations of what the fuck they're talking about, so we get something like this. Now again, you know, if this was to be the case, then these strands here, these kind of Cartesian box grids representing this fabric of space-time, whatever the fuck that is, right? In a three-dimensional sphere, every single part of this Cartesian grid type thing would have to have some sort of flow happening. So there'd be a flow of some kind of substance or some sort flowing in towards the centre of the nonsensical concept sphere Earth, right? Now this flow of whatever it is would have to come from top downwards into a central point. Fair enough, because that's what has to happen. You have to have either something flowing or some surface applying a pressure to some other surface in order to achieve motion in a direction. Okay? So what are they actually talking about here in their mathematical fucking jargon? It's a nonsensical abstract concept. Space-time being warped. Okay, so it starts off, it's nice, horizontal and vertical, box grid. Then you place an object in it and start to grow it, and it starts to warp and bend everything three-dimensionally into a central point. So is this space-time now flowing inwards? So as it flows through the Earth. It separates everything into its density layers. So for helium, right down the gases, right into solid material, water, down into the density layers, into the central point. Is this what they're going to assert? Again, what would they have as an analogue representation, something practical that they could demonstrate to us? Nothing. Fuck all. So this is the 3D representation of warping and bending of space-time jargon. But at the same point, this space-time would still have to be flowing through and into the centre of the Earth. So say you always see them showing you in 2D planes like that. Well, there's a real issue with that, obviously, because if that was any surface and say you had water on there, the water would all fall in and collect up to the halfway point or to the level point. Doesn't account for up here. It's just total nonsense. We'll get back to that.
For most objects, you can't feel the force, as it is.
For most objects, you can't feel the force. It's there, trust me. But we can't really detect it in any way, shape or form, but it's really there.
Very small. But there is one object very close to you, which is so massive.
So here we go. We can just nullify the whole lot and just make circular reasoning arguments that the big object that we're all standing on is the one responsible for pulling stuff towards it.
That you definitely can feel the attractive gravitational force.
Again,
and that object...
attractive means diddly squat. We'll get to this again, direction, and how we actually feel what they'll call G's, gravity, G-force.
Is Earth. Earth and you attract each other.
Earth and you, a cartoon concept, and you attract each other by, fantastical pseudoscience mechanical means.
And since Earth is so massive, this force of attraction is larger than that due to any other object around you.
That's just fucking brilliant, isn't it? Special pleading and all that. Oh, it's so special.
The gravitational force from Earth on an object is known as the weight of the object. If I step on these scales, you can see that my weight is registered as 700 newtons. This is the gravitational force between me and the Earth. It is the force of the Earth pulling me towards it.
Is it? How's that happening then? Again, we go back to this, and I'm going to keep fucking hammering it home. I'm going to keep hammering it home. Just like in the case of the two boxes that I showed you. Earth. You. How is this possibly affecting you? Unless, of course, again, as we say, we'll get the Cartesian type space-time jargon. And this big massive object is warping it all, but causing a flow in a particular direction. So here you are at the top of the fucking globe Earth, hovering. And this is being warped, and there's a flow now happening that's coming down through this Cartesian box, nonsensical space-time jobby. And flowing down towards a central point, and carrying you along with it until you come into contact with the Earth. The Earth resists you, and now your mass has weight to it because there's a resistance factor here, which is the Earth stopping you from going to the gobstopper candy centre in the middle of the cartoon Earth globe thing. So how is it, unless it is a flow of some kind, how would that possibly get you to come towards it? Back to the invisible fishing lines. Oh, it hooked onto your foot, and now there's a wee guy at the centre of the candy gobstopper with a fishing reel winding you in. Or it throws out flexible rods, and then it gets stiff above you and pushes down on your head and pushes you down towards the earth, and then you meet the resistance of the earth, and now you've got weight.
Scales that are calibrated for use on Earth display your mass rather than your weight. So the display will normally show your mass in kilograms rather than your weight
Same
in
fucking
newtons.
thing.
The mass of an object is a measure of the amount of matter in the object. It is not the same as the object's weight, which is the attractive force between it and the Earth. However, they are related, since if the mass of the object doubles, the weight of the object will double. In the case of these two apples here, there is a gravitational force acting on each of them from Earth, and this is their weight. The weight of the apples are different.
So note they go straight down. So what is the factor here that's going to cause that? What's the opposing factor that's going to cause that to apparently look as if it's falling towards the Earth?
Due to the difference in their mass. In the case of the large apple, it has a weight 10 times that.
We're now looking at a flow coming down the way towards the centre, as I pointed out with the warping and bending of space-time jargon crap, right? That's going to press on it and carry it along its flow towards the centre of the concept sphere Earth.
That of the small apple, due to it having 10 times the mass of the small apple. So what will happen if I drop these apples over the edge of the platform here? Which apple will hit the ground first? Remember that the large apple has a much higher force in it due to its weight. Do you think it will hit the ground first? Well, let's see. 3, 2, 1.
This is a cartoon, by the way. This isn't a real life demonstration. You can demonstrate this to yourself, right enough. Oh, look at that.
Oh wow, did you expect that? They both hit the ground at the same time. So what happened? Well, the amazing fact is that all objects accelerate at the same rate due to the gravitational attraction of the Earth. Heavy objects and light objects all drop at the same rate. Why is that? Well, in the case of the apples, the large apple has a force on it which is 10 times larger than the force on the small apple. So you may think that it would accelerate to the ground faster than the small apple.
Well, Newtonian, the bigger the mass, the more gravity and stuff there is. You would probably think that, but no.
However, the large apple also has a mass 10 times larger than the mass of the small apple. And it therefore resists the acceleration by a factor of 10 times.
How's it resisting it? How's it managing that? Huh? It's not like it's flattened out and it's got more air resistance. I could compress it so its density was more. Its weight would be more than that. They will still fall at the same rate.
The result is that the acceleration of the large apple is not greater than the small apple. It is exactly the same as the small apple, and therefore
so we've got something uniform. There's a uniformity happening here.
Both apples hit the ground at the same time. So we have seen that the gravitational force between Earth and an object gives the object weight.
No,
so what happens?
There's no weight until the object comes into contact with a resistance factor, which would be the Earth. No, this cartoon. Actual Earth.
Happens in space, where you may have seen images of astronauts floating in a state of apparent weightlessness. Does this mean there is no gravity in space? Well, the answer may surprise you. So let's go up into space.
Let's go up into space with our imagination and some cartoon representations of a nonsensical, idiotic reference frame that's fucking impossible to be true.
Find out more.
But we'll use their mental gymnastics. We'll go to the voids of space vacuums, right? And we'll play with some mental gymnastics and ask them the questions again.
Well, all systems are ready for takeoff, so let's go and see if there's gravity in space. 3, 2, 1.
I never knew there was a part 2 to this. We'll maybe save that. Right, so where am I here? Let's again look.
How to build a Cartesian diver.
I don't need the Cartesian diver.
Other end of the straw. Attach a smaller paper clips.
So a Cartesian diver, as we can see, when pressure has been applied here, the water will go in and compress the air. That will then fall, but it falls with a direction down. So you can fuck about with the density. It doesn't go sideways, doesn't go diagonally that way or that way. It goes directly downwards. So we'll move back to that again. And I've got some other stuff here to show you. So, what could we possibly invoke for direction? Anybody? Anybody? How do we get density layers? How do we get direction? Why are things coming towards the earth down in a downwards fashion? Anybody? Are people scared to go here? Again, as I pointed out before, you shouldn't be scared of propaganda and, you know, slanderous attitudes towards factual things that we're observing and trying to figure out about reality. Don't care about any of that. We have to go where the investigation takes us and where it's going to suggest the possibilities of what's going on. Jack Stander, in your opinion, direction comes from the field. What's a field that we exist in? What's happening in this field mathematical concept? Is there a flow of some kind that's gone in a particular direction? So, there is light because of electrical energy. So, let's just for talking's sake, we've got above, we've got below. Okay, now it's static. The earth will say, for talking's sake, it's not moving anywhere, nothing's moving, it's fixed and it's static. We would then have to ask the questions, what's it fixed to? Alright? So when people start talking about fields and flows of particular things, we must have a top-down directional flow of something. Now is that going to be enough to separate everything to its relative density layers and still dictate direction? Is this flow of stuff uniform in any given point on the plane from top to bottom? I'm just going to pay attention to the chat here to get people's thoughts here. Static electricity will grab you. So static electricity has the ability to latch onto you in some way. It's got like hooks or something. Again, we're going to enter back into this pulling nonsense again. It's just weight, Del. How do you get weight? Look. Thought experiment, right? We're in a void. We've got three-dimensional space. There's an object. It's got mass. It's got a density to it, right? That object has no direction and it has no weight. you need to bring in some other factor. You need to bring in something to resist that object in order for that to now have a definition of what we call weight. So like a sinkhole gleam, that's what I'm saying. So what you're saying then, the earth like this, and the sinkhole's at a central point, so there's some sort of top-down flow into a central point like this, and it's all gone to the same point. Is that what you're talking about? So down's no longer down over here. Down's kind of slightly diagonal to a central point. What are you talking about? Pressure pushing down on us. What creates the pressure? What's creating the pressure? How are you going to get pressure? Without something moving. Is that what you mean, Gleam? Just need to be quicker with the responses here. I'm just going to move on. Exactly, Rob Redding. Down is down for everybody. So we can't have a surface like this. Wait, a wee man over here. And a wee man over here. And one here. And then say, well, there's a flow into a central point. A sea of electrons, so it's exactly as you see. What, gone to a central point down here somewhere? Huh? Or is the central point uniform across the bottom, so everything is flowing straight down like this? Or you're saying like a sinkhole would dictate that it's all coming into a point like that. Which means down directly here for this guy is no longer down, it's kind of slightly over that way. So if he drops something here, it's going to fall like that towards a central point. Create a pressure between us. So you're talking then about a uniform, a kind of isotropic fabric of some kind, like space-time or ether, whatever you like, and an object within it causes some sort of warping of it. That still doesn't give the direction of down. That's an explanation of relationships between objects within the reference frame. But every object within the reference frame has a definite downward point of reference. I will open the panel. I'll open the panel once I get through this. Density and buoyancy is the result of gravity. But we'll get to this because the gravity is the assertive of a pulling force towards the centre of a concept sphere. Earth is crap. Let's get back to it. Where was I here? So, we've seen the Cartesian diver. We know that if you fuck with it, there's always a downward direction. Let's have a wee look at this video now. This will take us in the direction that I'm pointing towards.
Hey everybody, we are on location today for a never-before attempted Imagine It. I have Carl Nelson with me. We have our safety belts on. What are we doing today?
We're going to talk about Newton's laws of motion in our outreach van.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, this van and everything in it is at rest. And we're going to stay at rest unless we somehow accelerate down the road.
Right.
So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We've got a passenger here who's kind of unbelted. He does have a string, but we're going to see what happens when we accelerate down the road.
All right, so we are watching our yellow passenger.
Yeah, and ourselves. So,
Sure.
So we've got Sarah in the driver's seat. Sarah, go ahead and just punch it. Floor us.
So we moved.
We moved. Okay. All right. Gentle stop, Sarah. And did you notice the balloon initially moved backwards?
It did.
Just like our bodies did, because we were actually at rest, but the van started to move, and the seats actually collided with our bodies.
Huh.
Right?
Pushing us a little forward in the back.
Well,
Notice
yeah,
that? The directional force. The car collided with their body. Nothing came from in front of them and pressed them into the seat.
Kind of. It feels like we get pushed into the seats,
Yeah.
but it's really our bodies at rest, and the van runs into us.
Huh.
Okay.
So
Same
we were
thing.
never moving.
Well, we
is what
did.
you're saying.
Once the van caught up to us, then it started pushing us forward.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing with the balloon. It was initially at rest, and it started to move backwards. Sarah, just give us a little burst. See how the balloon comes back?
Yep.
Okay, gentle stop. So we're going to see what happens, though, if we put a balloon filled with helium gas in front of us.
Okay.
Okay, because
and this one's just blown up with.
this is regular air.
Okay.
Like, everybody's probably experienced this in a car, right? You're in a car, someone floors it. Move your foot for a second. And you know, a balloon right there. So we have a balloon that's floating,
Okay.
a balloon that's just hanging in the air, and we're going to see if there's any difference. And like, what do you think? Would there be a difference? Just because it's floating?
I don't know. I think that maybe this one will be a little bit more grounded. Because I don't know. That's just my
Alright.
that's my hypothesis.
Let's try it. So
Okay.
Sarah, go ahead and punch it. All right, emergency stop, 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 stop. Yeah. Did you see what the
Wow.
balloon did, right? When we accelerated, we got pushed backwards,
Yes.
essentially, but the balloon went forward.
It did. It went forward.
See, remember as well, when they're braking and accelerating, it's both the same thing. It's a change in momentum. Right?
What's going on?
I don't know. Is it just because of the weight of what's inside, the gas?
You're on the right track.
Okay.
This van is filled with gas. It's filled with air.
Yeah.
Sarah, go ahead and punch it again. Goes forward.
Uh-huh.
Emergency stop. Quick. Goes back.
Wow.
Okay, the air inside of the van is actually at rest. When she accelerates, more air gets back here, and up front where they are, there's a little bit less air.
And is that why
It's a
the
little bit
balloon
less
is
dense.
drawn that way?
Yeah, helium balloons float upwards into the upper atmosphere because it's less dense higher as you go.
Huh.
Okay, so it's
So, well, let me just get at the end.
trying to find a place where the density of the air is equal to its density.
So you can see the motion of the car is dictating where the density layers are going to be. So, contrary to what you probably thought, this just has standard air in it, this is helium. As the car moves forward, the helium balloon comes to the front of the car and the balloon goes to the back of the car.
And it can do that quickly.
Yeah, do it again, Sarah, one more time. And then stop, fast. All the way back. It's just so
As I'm
cool.
thrown forward,
As
the
you're
balloon's
thrown
coming
forward,
back
the
at
balloon
me.
goes back.
So the acceleration is both ways. There's a change in momentum when they go forwards, and when they brake, they're changing the momentum. So there's a shift in the density layer. The air compresses towards the back, pushing the helium balloon, which is less dense, forwards. When they brake, the air shifts to the front of the car, again pushing the helium balloon towards the back.
So we're going to actually try going through a loop-de-loop up here and see what happens when we go in a circle with our balloons.
Okay.
So it looks like the road is clear.
It's the same here.
That's kind of a cool thing. If you've ever carried party balloons in your car, you've probably noticed this. All right, so brace yourself. Speedy up here in the driver's seat is going to take us around this loop pretty quick. We're going to make a left-hand turn fast.
And they go in
opposite directions.
directions.
And the line connecting them almost even looks the same.
It does.
All right, punch it. Goes forward and give us a stop. And it goes back. Good thing you're wearing the seatbelt.
Yeah, and you can hear my emergency
Yeah.
pull in there.
It's just a really nice demonstration of what happens when you're in an accelerated vehicle.
Okay.
There are these pseudo forces that appear. Like inside the vehicle, we feel like there's a force pushing us back.
Sure.
But for a person standing outside, they realize no, their bodies are at rest and the car is just slamming into them.
Wow. And
Exactly.
who knew that? I mean, of course, we know that there's air in the atmosphere, but to know that all
little
of
bit more
these
dense.
reactions are happening
When you
inside of your
accelerate,
van.
it's a little bit more dense in the back, less dense in the front. Nothing that, she's not going to pass out up there, but it's enough for the helium balloon to realize that it should move forward to where it's less dense.
One minute.
Here's the apple. There's gravity in this direction. It wants to fall.
Gravity in this direction. So we've got a downward vector, a downward force, a downward point of reference. And look what they're going to show you here.
In that direction of gravity if I cut the wire. Now I'm going to accelerate it in this direction. When I do that, I add a perceived component of gravity in the opposite direction. So I add a perceived component.
In this case, you would have to continually keep accelerating it to get the same effect, because the main reference frame is the one that's interfering and dictating the whole. So in order to overcome the main reference frame, you would have to continually keep accelerating. We'll get to
Gravity
that.
in this direction. So this apple wants to fall down because of the gravity that I cannot avoid, and it wants to fall in this direction. So what will the string do? It's very clear, very intuitive. No one has any problem with that. The string will do this. Now I have a balloon here. Helium. There's gravity in this direction. That's why the balloon wants to go up. Opposes gravity. I'm going to accelerate the car in this direction. I introduce perceived gravity in this direction. What does the balloon want to do? It wants to go against gravity. I build up in here, it must be a closed compartment. I must build up there a pressure differential. The air wants to fall in this direction. I build up a pressure here which is larger than the pressure there. That's why it has to be a closed compartment. What will the helium balloon do? It will go like that. That is very non-intuitive. So I accelerate this car, as I will do. The apple will go back, which is completely consistent with all our intuition, but the helium balloon will go forward. Let's first do it with the apple.
So we've seen the examples. I don't need to show them doing the demonstration again. Just let me go back here to see what else I've got. Make sure I'm not missing anything that I had up here. Right, where am I here? Right, so as you can see in that example, we've got a contained system. We've got helium balloon, we've got standard balloon. We move in that direction. The helium balloon is going to swing forward. This balloon is going to go backwards. Now let's just do it this way now. So now we're going to move it to what we call up the way. Right? Now here's the point, before I even get to that. So we understand now, right, that direction is dictated by motion of some kind. So when we're looking at the Earth, right, we know that the globe has to invoke all sorts of jargon, all sorts of nonsense to try and explain why it's spinning, right? Nothing's flying off it and everything stays on it. By use of attractive forces, pulley forces, which we know are bullshit. So what we're then left with? Well, let's look at a couple of examples that I've thought about, right? So we're looking above, top down here, okay? So you've heard them, when anybody's talked about gravity, you'll often hear them saying, well, imagine swinging a bucket. Swing a bucket in the air, and when you swing it with water in it, the water stays in because of the centrifugal force. Right, so there we could look at that. Okay, well, direction that we have, that being downwards, we could come up with possible models or scenarios of what's going on, right? But I found problems with this. So if we talk about a central point, right, a pivot point which would have to be fixed, and we were somehow tethered, right? We'll use the bucket example. So we've got a bucket, right, that's attached here. And when we swing the bucket, remember we're looking at it from top down, and we're going to swing the bucket round. Right? Now, there's a centrifugal factor that if you were in here, you could stand upright. Right? And this would be your up, this would be your down. But in this scenario, there is nothing that's going to flow in that direction, because centrifugal isn't a force or something flowing, right? It's an effect, a result of motion like that. So you're still not going to get the air compressing. The air's not going to compress. It's not going to go into layers of density in that type of model of a pivot point and swinging something round and round, right? You would get a centrifugal force if you standing there and you would stick to the bottom of the bucket. But it's still not going to give you your density layers. However, as Dan pointed out, my error. If we were to say we were on a pivot point like this, right, and it's now going to go in this direction, okay, so we're looking, in fact, we're looking at it straight on now, right, so you can see the pivot point, and say we've got a system here, right, we'll make it this kind of shape, right, so here's our baseline here, right, and we're in there and we're on it. And there's air and all this kind of stuff in here. Now this being fixed onto this rigid arm, as that arm starts to move, it's going to compress, just as we've seen in the example of the car. The air is going to compress as this starts to move in this direction. There's going to be a centrifugal effect, but by the solid surface constantly coming into contact, it's going to compress everything. So then you would start to get density layers. Your helium, all your gases, right down to the solid, the liquids, the solids. So we could have a model of a pivot point and some sort of centrifugal force, because if that continually moves, it's going to keep coming into contact with anything. So when you throw something up, this is continually moving towards it, so it appears as if it's falling back down towards the earth again. But the reference frame as a whole is moving. Do you understand? Because again, to simplify it, we've got three-dimensional space. We've got a vacuum. We have an object. Mass of the object, density of the object, blah, 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 blah. This object has no direction at all. It has no weight. The only way for it to have direction is by applying some sort of force that puts it into motion. So if it's in a resistance, a frictionless environment and we caused an explosion here, we could force it into motion and it would have a uniform straight line motion that it would continue on because there's nothing to resist it. Right? But it still has no weight. The only way for it to have the weight and have a set direction is by bringing some sort of surface into it that's moving in a particular direction. It comes into contact with it, now presses against it, and continues to press against it uniformly, constantly pressing against it at a uniform set rate, thereby giving it a set direction and giving it a uniform weight, so that no matter where on this surface I place it, its weight's always going to be the same. As I say, this reference frame, this point of contact, could be pivoted at some point, and this could be an enclosed system. We'll just use that as an example. Now as that whole thing comes round and swings round, the surface is constantly pressing against anything it's coming into contact with, and its continual motion compresses everything and keeps the uniformity of the density layers. Because in the bucket example of swinging it from a central point, it's a centrifugal force. In this one, I'm saying that the arm's fixed and it's pivoting as a solid arm moving, then it always comes into contact with everything. The centrifugal force, if you're swinging something, it's not going to, there's no flow that's going to separate things into its density layers. There's nothing with a direction that's compressing anything. The air doesn't compress. In a sealed unit like this, you have to have it constantly moving towards the things in order to keep the compression happening all the time. Saying Dell needs a physics lesson isn't a response to anything that's being offered to you, dipshit. Okay, so you can keep up that fucking nonsensical drivel of name calling and your lowbrow level fucking insults all you fucking like, Jimmy. It's not going to change anything. You have a massive problem because we've got sphere Earth that's in motion by a big bang, pfft, spewing stuff out. So right, okay, well we've got a uniform kind of direction now, but oh wait, we're going to start making that spin. And then we need to invoke a mathematical concept to keep everything on it while it's spinning and changing direction all over the fucking place, which does not conform to the laws of fucking motion, dipshit. Because in that fucking model, you can't dictate direction. That's why you need to come up with all sorts of magic ad hoc pseudoscience bollocks. So while it's flying through the fucking space-time nonsense, how's the warping of space-time still flowing into a central point? And as space-time flows in, how's it catching everything and separating everything into the density layers? You complete and utter fud. So again, what I want to point out here is that when we're talking about the laws of motion, they understand that force or applied pressure in regards to motion, things act in uniform straight lines, right? So again, if we're on a surface that's curved, right, and we apply the very same principle, it has to be moving in some sort of uniformity. Right, so again, it's on some sort of pivot moving uniformly in a set direction. Well, the opposite of that is going to be straight lines at any given point. So we're back to the same problem again. Now if you're standing here perpendicular to the centre of gravity and all that, and you're standing straight out here, down's going to be crossing you at an angle like that. It's not a direct downwards point of reference. You need the level surface in order to have the uniform downwards direction. And that point of reference has to be in motion. So as I pointed out, it doesn't have to be perpetually moving through an infinite void. You could have a tether point with a rigid arm that it swivels round, and we could be in an isolated compartment here, so we're all in here. And as it swings round, it's constantly pushing against us, compressing all the air, setting things into the density layers, just like you've seen in the example of the car. So they're showing you these things, they're showing you linear, going across the way, so when you accelerate like this, the helium balloon comes forward, the other balloon goes backwards. Just turn it that way now. It's moving that way, so the helium gets, because the air's compressing down towards the earth, the helium balloon gets pushed up the way. Exactly. There's a reason why the plumb bob hangs straight fucking down anywhere here. To say that in construction, oh, the plumb bob's, oh, there's a guy here and his plumb bob's straight down, and his plumb bob's straight down there like that, and it's at a funny angle, and we want to build things square. Oh no, fuck's sake, we're building bridges away up into fucking space. The plumb bob is universal. If you're 100 miles away from me and I'm going to build something towards you and you're building it towards me, your fucking point of reference is your plumb bob and your fucking level. Uniformly. So how do we get the downwards direction? It's either the earth is moving towards us, or, as I said, you've got something flowing in a downwards direction. And this flowing or whatever is responsible for separating things into its density layers, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I can show you in an analogue example, a practical example that you can try. Get a helium balloon, put it in your fucking car, hang other things in it, and watch what happens when you move, accelerate forwards. Now remember, the only reason you have to keep accelerating laterally is because if this is moving upwards, you're having to constantly overcome the upwards reference frame or the reference frame pushing against. So you need to keep accelerating to overcome it. So when you throw an object up like this, it would continually keep going, but the earth would be coming towards in contact with it, which gives you the illusion of an arc, that it's went up and down. I don't give a fuck about all this propaganda. The Flat Earth Society say this, oh, Dale's a Flat Earth Society proponent. No, Dale fucking isn't a proponent of any society. Dale's a man asking objective questions, inquiring, tearing apart the sophistry and the bullshit that the heliocentric globe cult has tried to ram down our throats. So, it's not my fault. If the investigation takes us to this point, it's not my fault. Blame reality. So don't listen to the propaganda. There's a reason why think about it. Oh, they say the Earth's moving uniformly. Fucking lunatics. Well, hold on a now. You've got a fucking globe Earth that's spinning. Spinning round the fucking sun. While chasing the fucking sun at 500,000 miles an hour. Changing direction all the fucking time. You would notice that. To say things are moving uniformly falls in line with how we understand the laws of motion. The heliocentric model does not conform to the laws of motion as we know it and what we can practically demonstrate. Does anybody fails to understand this? If you get a reason for why you don't understand it or why what you think I'm saying is wrong, please elaborate right now and I'll address it. If Earth's atmosphere air was twice as dense as seawater, would we go up, i.e. would up be down and down be up, no downward force? Just asking. If air was twice as dense as seawater, no, because density of anything does not dictate direction. Density of anything does not dictate a direction. You know, ask yourself the question, is there a downwards direction? You know there's down. Drop something. It doesn't fall sideways. Or up to the left or up to the right. It goes straight down like a plumb bob. Straight down. You're still in stationary seeking star water. If you're still in stationary, how would you suggest then the point of reference which is down? You're back to, you know, invoking fields and flows of invisible stuffs that has to be flowing, you know, perfectly vertical across the whole plane downwards. What would that then be? And how does that affect everything and separate things into its density layers? How would it achieve that? Because right now, what I understand through the laws of motion, this is how it can be achieved. So, a hypothetical model, right? It's no in motion, there's nothing, but we just throw in there substance, so we've got fucking solids and liquids and gases and stuff like that, all just sitting there. The only way for them to all separate is by this coming up into contact with them, pushing against them and compressing everything. And that compression is going to separate the densities. Because as soon as you move that into contact, it's going to push against everything, and the solid, like the rock, is going to come to the surface before the gas and the air. That's going to go forwards. Again, just like the example you've seen with the car. The car moves forward, the helium balloon goes forward because the air is compressed towards the point of reference at the back, causing a compression here, which makes it more dense, so now the helium balloon can't penetrate it. The helium balloon sits outside of that compression zone. I'm explaining to you, Brian Mabbitt, why the helium balloon's not going down. It's the same example of the car. Why in the car does the helium balloon go forward when you accelerate, but the other balloon goes backwards? Because there's a compression factor. As the car moves, the back of the car compresses the air to a more dense point, so the helium balloon now gets shifted forwards. The helium balloon cannot penetrate that density layer because it's less dense. Exactly, Emerald Rider. That's right, JT, the game. Have to ignore reality and believe a TV screen. Because reasons. So we're in the plane of inertia in a torus field. So again, we're back to the problem. But in the torus field model, it's a central point. So if we're looking at it from above, right, say you've got your plane of inertia, and then you've got your torus field all coming into a central point, flowing in every direction into the central point, right? But what happens if you're out here? How does that flow affect you out here? Because then your down is now angled towards a central point. It's not directly beneath your feet. That doesn't work. Why does the car need to accelerate? The car needs to accelerate because the car has to overcome the initial reference frame. So there's your wee motor. I know it's a shitey square motor, but it doesn't matter. So when you accelerate the car, well, there's your reference frame there that's in contact with it. If that was constantly moving towards the car, that's the main reference point. So in order to overcome that, you have to accelerate the car in that direction and keep accelerating in order to feel the pushback or the car constantly pressing against you. But as soon as you get up to uniform speed, you no longer feel that. But with this being the main reference frame, it can be uniform because that's just constantly going to keep coming into contact with you. Regardless of what you do, it's going to keep coming and meeting you relentlessly. No, it's good that people have got questions. I'm asking the questions. I'm not making any assertions here. I'm asking questions about what's being put to me. I'm looking at it logically, reasonably, seeing if it adds up to anything that I can demonstrate, and it does not in regards to the heliocentric globe model. In regards to stationary Earth models, I've got serious problems with that as well. So I'm asking questions. If you're going to assert that it's this, that or the other, I need to ask you the questions. How do you get direction? How do you get the density layers? How is that being achieved by a static model? What is it about static forces or electromagnetism or any of that stuff that separates things into density layers? But that's it, Andy. Constant upward pushing is in regards to us because we're within the reference frame. But as I said, you know, out with the reference frame, you know, if we're on a solid arm, right, and we're in this bit, and it's pivoted here, and it's constantly swinging round, right, uniformly, it's going to keep coming into contact, and it's going to keep forcing the compression to happen, right? But if you're to us, then it feels like that would be constantly coming up the way. But if you're outside it, you can see that it's swinging round a point of reference. But to the beings in here, down's always going to remain down because that's the flow resistance of the point where it comes into contact with you. So even when it's up here like this, and you're standing that way, and I'm outside looking at it, I can see what's happening as it swings round in this direction. But to you, down's always down because it's uniformly coming into contact with you continually. So see, I'm here invoking the discussion, asking the questions. I'm open to reasonable discussions with people about this, and we can highlight it. I'm not interested in ad hominem, focusing on my persons or just ridiculing or any of that stuff. If you can focus on the content and you want to come in and have a discussion with me about it right now, you can request that. Or send me an email. If you've got something to add to it, questions to ask in relation to what I'm talking about, anything else, I'm just going to ignore you. Doesn't need to keep accelerating, that's that, Andy. But us within the reference frame, we need to constantly keep accelerating in order to overcome it. Too many people just jump into the propaganda. Right at the beginning of this, it was always put out there, the flat earth society say, oh, it's fucking ridiculous, fucking ridiculous. So people immediately just ignore every aspect to it and then start coming out with nonsense. Well, the heliocentric globe model are coming in and asking you the questions. How do you get direction? Why is there a reference frame of downwards? But you just, if you pay attention to it, you can then put it back to them because their notions of how that happens are pseudoscience, magic, mystical, voodoo jargon of the earth attracting stuff towards it, which is bullshit. Going back again to the laws of motion. You need something impressing on something else in order to achieve what we call motion. Or you have a flow of some kind. You understand this way, you know, as gleams, pull the plug out your bath. You've got a flow to a central point. Anything that's in there gets carried along with the flow. But what I'm saying is, down is uniform across the plane. So you can't have a flow to a central point, because then down's going to be angled anywhere you go away from that central point. But down is down, no matter where you go. Drop an apple here, it goes straight down. Go to Timbuktu, it goes fucking straight down. Exactly, Jacques. That is the Russian Nadolkin under his back again, Jack Stander. But what I'm saying is, you know, we're building an understanding of the possibilities of what could be going on here and asking the questions. Again, I'm not making any assertions about it being factual, about what's actually happening. But the fact that we have direction and that we have density layers suggests to me that something is moving. So the two options you've got is that the Earth is moving towards us, whether it be pivoted or just continually moving through an infinite space, or it's static and fixed in some way and there's a downwards flow equally anywhere you go upon the Earth. You can't just keep saying density and buoyancy, density and buoyancy. Because in the case of the Cartesian diver, you can fuck with it, but it still goes straight down. It doesn't go to the side or up or any other direction, it goes straight down. Concave doesn't explain diddly squat. Concave is just as daft as a globe crap. It's got no practical references to support it in any way, shape or form. Nothing. The uniformity of the movement is what gives you doubt. Why does it give you doubt? When you're in an elevator and the elevator's moving uniformly up, the floor's constantly coming into contact with you at a uniform rate. It doesn't keep having to accelerate in order to keep you on the floor. Right. Doing a flow some kind wherever you go on earth makes a lot of sense to me. Well, that's it. You know, JT the gamer. But what is it that's flowing downwards then? What could be this stuff that's flowing? There has to be something. It has to be made of some material in order for it to affect other materials. Just again, as we're saying about the laws of motion, you need some substance contacting some other substance in order to achieve what we call motion. So, what is it that's coming down? And how does it know to let helium stay up there and all the other stuff? I mean, the density of the molecular structure. That's it, Jack Stander. Exactly, Rickus Vaticus. If you put the car like that and you had a vertical road and done the same thing would happen. As you started to go up the vertical ascent, you know, and accelerated, the helium balloon's going to go forwards and the other balloon's going to come backwards again, because as it goes up, everything compresses towards the back. Now the helium balloon has to shift forward into its density layer. So the motion gives the layers of density. It's fucking simple. But again, you can't go there. Oh, that's rubbish, that's propaganda. What, uniformity? Understanding the laws of motion? That's propaganda. No, fucking 4 different directions and spinning and wobbling is the fucking propaganda bullshit. Pseudoscience. Yes, Brian Mabbott, exactly. Just like it's gone laterally. The car moves like this, the air shifts to the back, causing a compression zone. So it's more dense now, then the helium balloon goes forward. Now just tilt it that way. The car goes that way, the air compresses to the bottom, and the helium balloon shifts up. Why is it so difficult? The fairground rings is centrifugal. That's a centrifugal force. It's not even a force, it's a side effect of that motion. But again, just like that, the air's no compressing from the central point to the outer wall, as I showed you in the bucket model of spinning a bucket. You get a centrifugal force with you, but there's no directional vector for the gas in the air. It's not going to compress. But as Jacques, they've taken the simple and they've had to abstract it into nonsensical jargon in order to make it fit a mathematical concept, an idiotic concept. But that's what I'm saying, Brian Mabbott. The density in that example was only happening because there's something in motion. The car. The reference frame is moving. So just like the car, we're on Earth. We have density layers. You let a helium balloon go, it goes up the way and finds its equilibrium point because there's a compression zone down here that's more dense that doesn't allow it to settle there, that pushes it up to that point. I'm going to check my emails. Maybe he's asking to come in. Oh, but there'll be hundreds of hit piece videos and people rattling their gums in comment sections. But nobody can come in and articulate with specifics. Why I'm wrong or what I'm suggesting is wrong or any of that stuff. We'll just avoid it. Could electrostatics determine direction on Earth's surface? How does electrostatics interact with every aspect, every material component of Earth? How does it create the density layers? Is what I would have to ask. So Daniel Smith, you've got two. So you're saying there's like that again. So you've got a uniformity, you've got the earth and you've got the sky, which would be obviously have to be contained in some way. And you get like electrostatic or some force that's flowing downwards at any given point. That's fine, I'm willing to listen to that. But how does it interact with all the other matter? How does it give you the density layers? Exactly, Dardanian. Force equals motion equals direction. No motion, no directions, no force. Exactly. We need motion for direction. We need motion in order to give mass, weight, because that motion, the thing that's moving, has to come into contact with the mass so that the mass now has a resistance force factor, and that resistance is what dictates its weight. So it has to be moving uniformly, because if it was constantly accelerating, the object, the mass, would get heavier and heavier and heavier. Apples float in water because of the density. There's air trapped inside it. So the air is less dense than the water. Still, how did you get the density layers in the first place without some sort of motion? This is it, said the Elkarchi. Just asking the questions. We can start looking at these things and get to a certain point. But again, it comes back to we need the exploration. We need to get beyond just what we know and see what the outer reaches are. What is actually containing this, if there is a containment? What's it tethered to? Where is it situated? What's the bigger picture? But from this point, and understanding motion, understanding the density layers, direction, we can start to deduce and we can start to paint a picture of the possibilities of what's actually happening. Exactly, Hazmat. So nobody's sending me a request, so I'll have 5 minutes before I move on to the next thing. I'll post this in the chat box and see what we get. There's no point in trolls wasting time, I'm just going to immediately cut you off. I'm opening it for discussion purposes. The water doesn't get more dense the deeper you go. There's just more pressure. It's not getting denser. There's more pressure at the bottom of a swimming pool. If you take the top cubic metre at the top from the surface a metre down, and then you took the same metre away down 100 metres down, there's the same amount of water on each metre cube. It's just that the one down here is under more pressure. You can't compress liquids. A giant density tower, but how do you get density in a tower? Without the motion, or flow of some kind, coming from top down, or from the earth, coming into contact and compressing everything as it moves continually. Like bricks stacked, exactly, Cheris. So I'm open here. Again, I'm offering it up for open, honest discussions about this. So naysayers, doubters, antagonists, whatever, articulate your reasoning or highlight the flaw in my reasoning. Say it to my face. Don't make a hit piece video where I'm probably never going to fucking see it. Click the link. So, just to recap, gravity, the way they invoke it, an attractive force. You cannot have an interaction between two objects creating motion and direction with nothing happening between them. Something has to be flowing to a point of reference, or it has to be tethered in some way, either like that or applying a pressure here. Where's all the experts? Huh? There's all the people running and hiding that will no face up to this shit and just can perpetually keep spouting the same bollocks. Density and buoyancy, density and buoyancy. Density and buoyancy don't dictate directions. Where's the Nathan Oakleys and all these pricks that fucking rattle their gums saying I'm flat earth society disinformation? Where are you fucking weak spineless gimps? Come and tell me to my face. Articulate reasonably why I'm wrong. Where are you? Chop chop. Always the fucking same. Zilch. Nada. Fuck all. Why? Well, it'll be another couple of weeks. I've got too much to deal with before we're back doing any of that stuff, Neil McCrob. Tumbleweeds, exactly, Boris Chops. Wait till they descend on the comment sections, all the hit piece videos. That tells you everything you need to know. Just like this fucking creepy weirdo, again. This knob jockey who has put a video together from Skyfly Bry. This is all Skyfly Bry stuff. And it's all slagging, we need to explore, slagging that there's no such thing as pool. So who's this fucking cockend? He's telling you everything about him. This Russian vids prick and the rest of their ilk. They're the disinformation agents. They're the propaganda agents. They're not interested in you having an objective inquiry. All they're doing is slandering and slating anybody who pulls apart the bullshit in regards to the heliocentric globe or the fake flat earth models. That's who these clowns represent. There's no articulation with specifics. They can't even address rationally what it is you're saying. All it is throw you under the bus with labels. Where are they? We've got another couple of minutes while I make a smoke, and then we'll move on. But people need to stop spouting that buoyancy and density is somehow a factor for a directional aspect, because it's fucking no. Use a Cartesian diver as a reference. Why does it go down the way? Why are the density layers stacked on top of each other and no side by side? Exactly, Antonio lol Oakley. And that fucking wee weasel bumping his gums. But again, no articulation of anything specific in regards to what I've actually offered. Nothing. So what does that say about him and the rest of the wee crew?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi there.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, good.
Yeah, do you know, I was listening to you and I have a nice bit to picture for people how this in car works, the balloon with the helium.
Yeah.
And when the balloon of helium going forward, when you're going forward with the car,
Yeah.
if you get the jar with the water inside, right? And you have little space for bubble.
Yeah.
It happens exactly the same thing. If you push the jar on the front of you, the bubble goes on the front because they're showing the same thing, the pressure.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to picture with the jar with the car, because sometimes people see the car, they cannot picture what's going on there because they don't see anything.
Yeah.
But if you have a jar and the water inside and the bubble inside, you will see how this everything works, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's the motion that dictates that. You have to have the motion.
Yes, you have to push forward to all dance go backward, and you have that kind of illusion,
Exactly, because as you move forward, there's a compression area which forces anything that's less dense to be pushed forwards.
Exactly. This happened with the balloon and with the air of the bubble and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm pointing out here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And what do you think about that? I mean, obviously you agree there's a reference of down, and how would that be achieved, and how would you achieve density layers? And again, for me, it has to be because of motion of some kind.
Yes, yeah, exactly. What I was thinking, this bullshit about the out of space, right?
Yeah.
There's if let's say we have out of space there. If some kind of let's say I'm not saying it is ship go out, right, out of space, right, and they're losing the point of reference, like they saying our Earth, let's say, right?
Yeah.
There is no direction anymore.
No.
There is no point of reference anymore.
No.
So it tells you already all of this is a bullshit,
Yep. Because
like they saying they navigate the space, the whatever spaceship they have that, all of this is bullshit, because you cannot navigate anymore without point reference, because already you lose when you're leaving so-called Earth,
Yeah, they would need something coming into contact with them again, pressing against them, and then they would have a reference point for down, and then the directions would come back again.
So, simple thing like that just tells you all this little fucking nonsense, that.
Of course it does. So, of course, mate. Of course.
yeah, so... Okay, then I'm just came for a few minutes only, My English not that very good, so...
Oh, well, there's a man that doesn't speak the language and you understand it, so... Perfect.
Alright.
Good man.
Yeah. Thanks then.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
See you.
Cheers to Marius there. Where's Gleam and the likes, or any of these people that were talking about, directional flows or whatever else? Why are people always quick to offer up and then they don't come and articulate it? The link's still there. This is not going to go away. For as long as I'm on here, whatever happens with YouTube, I'm going to continually talk about this, and I'm going to keep ramming it home. So if this channel gets taken out, it's up to you people to discern for yourself. So say, don't listen to me, don't listen to experts. Think about it, discern for yourself what's been put in offer for you, and then play with reality and see what you can find. How are you justifying density layers, direction? What dictates weight? How are you getting any of that? You certainly can't get it by pseudoscience pulling forces. The Earth's demonstrably level shell, Lavelle. It's everybody's experience. You don't experience curves or motions in spinny directions or any of that fucking shit. That's contrary to our experience. You need to prove it's contrary to what we experience. The abstract, nonsensical notion is that it's fucking curved and people are standing upside down to me while it's spinning and wobbling and gyrating and firing round the sun, going at all sorts of fucking miles an hour. You muppet. So knowing that, there's your ball. There's a fucking dude there. Right? Oh, the Earth's fucking moving up the way. What happens to somebody down here then? They've got nothing to press against them. They just fucking fall off. The reference frame would just move away for them. Doing their bullshit. This fucking thing's doing fucking spinny circles. Well, it's going round the fucking sun. And going at 500,000 miles an hour. I'm a crackpot. I'm the crackpot. So we're not getting any discussions. Nobody's getting to say. So let's move on, shall we? Away for this. I've made the fucking point. I'm always open to the discussion for anybody that wants to have it. So what have I put in this? Omegle madness. Before we get to the dishonesty. Omegle is a site. Omegle came to me because there's a guitarist, a video that came up, and it was some guitarist. It was playing guitar for girls on Omegle, right? So I kept seeing this and I kept seeing it, so my curiosity got the better of me. Now I recorded the whole time I was on this Omegle thing. I can't really show it. I'll get to the reasons why in a minute. Now I showed Dan, Crazy Polish Man, when he was here the other day. We went on it live just so I could show him what it was about, and I recorded that also. So if you're a parent out there, this is purely for for you. I'm also going to use this Omegle for some live stuff that we can have interactions. Now what Omegle is a random generator of strangers. Now when you go to it, test it yourself. You type in Omegle, you go to the site, it asks you for no name, no sign in, no email, nothing. When you go on there, it starts randomly generating strangers anywhere in the world that you can sit and have a chat to. So, me being me, I goes on there, naive. What was happening was it was going from 9-year-old girls in their bedroom to a naked black guy with a fucking hard on, oiled up, giving himself a wank. Then it's coming up with like a video, but there's a still image on it. And it's saying the Omegle game. And it's saying a smile gets you 5 points, a kiss gets you 10 points, tongue gets you 15 points. Who the fuck is that for? Is this kiddie fiddlers utilising sites like Omegle to try and groom children? Because that's what I fucking seen. So if you get kids out there and they're on any of these sites, you better take note. What actually happened, and I recorded it, I spoke to a couple of younger people. There was one girl in particular, she must have been about 11 years old, 11, 12. And when she came on, I was laughing because I was laughing at what had previously just happened. She asked me what I was laughing at. So I told her, look, I've got a YouTube channel, told the name of it. Says I'm investigating it and I'm recording this. But obviously I told her I'm not going to show it. So I'm asking her, what is this about? And I'm asking how it affects them, what they think about it. Now this child is telling me that, oh yeah, you know, they go on here and when they're bored. And I says, well, what about the people who are coming on naked, performing sexual acts? Says, does that happen quite a lot? She's saying, oh yeah, I can be sitting with my mum and all of a sudden a penis is on the screen. I'm like, where the fuck are these parents? What the fuck is going on here? Talk about flat earthers and alternative media on YouTubes, and we've got these fucking sites. So see all these fucking gimpy trolls, away and put your attention to something like that where there is real damage being done, there is real predators hanging about trying to groom other people's fucking children. You don't believe me? Go and check it for yourself. Type Omegle in, spelt the way I've spelt it there, click on it, and automatically you'll be there generating strangers for you to chat to. I got some good interactions. Some of the interactions I managed to bring in the question. And I recorded it. So it's another good way of interacting with people and maybe getting, you know, a discussion happening, helping people to maybe think about things in a way they've never thought about them. So for that benefit, for that use, it was good. But the alarming aspect is the amount of fucking groomers and predators that's on there. So the majority of the time you're going to get guys maybe sitting with their top off or whatever. And as soon as they see you're another guy, they just automatically hit the button for next. Because they're obviously on there looking for women or children. They're not on there to have a discussion with rational, sane adults. They're on there to, you know, live out their impulsive, fucking narcissistic fantasies. Probably on your children if you're not paying fucking attention. Again, don't believe me, go and check it. Then come back and tell me what you found. And if you see that fucking thing with the Omegle game, 5 points for a smile, 10 for a kiss, 15 for tongue, that's a fucking predator on there trying to groom your children. It's called Omegle. Omegle. The problem is I can't show it live because it goes from, alright, 1 minute, to some knob jockey having a wank. What's the matter with these people? Is that what gets you a woman these days? Just walk up to a woman with a hard on, pull on heat off it. How's it going, hen? Fancy a date? Is that the women go for that now or what? Well, that's the thing, Jeff. It doesn't ask you for an email, a name, sign in. It asks you for nothing. Go and check it now. Check it while you're here. Type Omegle in, go to the site, and automatically you'll just be able to go to video and it'll just start randomly generating you strangers. And they'll say you're going to get guys wanking to children in their fucking bedrooms. Now I asked every one of these children if they experienced the same thing, and they all said they experienced the same thing. So even when you select the preferences or the age or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Hey Dal, I was just about to mention that you can put in the settings. Maybe you should try chat roulette. It might be more PG. I think I warned you about that when I told you about it.
But
if you didn't want to do it live, you could just like not share your screen, find someone that's sensible, and then start sharing your screen.
That was the plan, mate. But the thing about it is, when I spoke to these youngsters, they said that it didn't matter about the preference thing or any of that. They were still getting guys with their cock out showing up on their screen.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks.
So I'm just putting it out there, to warn people about it, because it concerned me. I had them out here and I recorded the whole fucking thing, and it was pretty frightening, to be honest with you. Especially when you see there's children there that their parents don't even know they're on it.
Yeah.
So anywho, was that it?
Yeah, I guess. I just thought I would mention the whole like changing the settings, because I do still think it is a good place. But honestly, that is where you can get strangers that do have time to listen to what you have to say. So it's sad that it's that's the reality of it.
Well, that's the thing. In amongst it, I did get some really good interactions with people.
Yeah.
And people.
So you can upload that.
I could show that, but I'm probably going to do what you said. I'm going to go live, and I'll have an Omegle night where we just go on Omegle, and I'll try and get somebody, as you say, that's a bit decent, that's up for a decent conversation. And if they're willing, then I can screen share and show their screen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go.
No worries.
Have a good one. Bye.
No worries. All right, mate. How's it going?
Aye, good man, you.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh, what I was just going to say was the diagram.
Oh, your sound's went. Your sound's gone.
Oh, shit.
It's back. It's back.
Oh, all I was going to say with the pivot arm, rather than it would need to be the bucket attached to the pivot arm so that it's sort of freely swinging. Otherwise, not freely swinging. Not at the angle you showed initially, but at a right angle. Do you know what I mean?
No, because I know what you're saying, but even if you're swinging it in a circular motion, right?
It's still going to.
The problem is that there's no force applied to the gases. It doesn't achieve.
Not freely swinging. Sorry, not freely swinging, but attached. Fuck, that's the same thing, though.
No, that's why I'm saying. Look, this is why I'm saying this. It was actually Dan that pointed it out to me. So the way I was showing it was that. So you've got your pivot point, right?
Yeah.
Right, so just say that's a rope being swung, and then you've got like a bucket here, right? And then you've got like that on the bucket, right? So the bucket's being swung, so you've got a centrifugal force here, right, for us, but it doesn't separate the layers. So what I had to...
It would separate the layers, but they would be in the direction that the bucket is travelling. So
no, it wouldn't, because the air would get pressed against. Say it was swinging this way.
Exactly.
The air would get pressed against this wall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's why it has to be like that. So.
But then you would have a centrifugal force, like laterally pushing you out towards like the edge, sort of. To the end of the pivot arm.
I know, but the gases. I know, but that's why. Let's let me finish. Right.
Yeah.
That's why like this, so that we're not tethered swinging out here. We're actually on the arm here. Yeah. So the arm's constantly going to come into contact with us as it swings round.
Yeah.
So there you've got a straight downwards direction.
Yeah.
And then you can get your density layers because everything would compress within that. But in the bucket, you don't get that. You're not going to get a compression zone of the density layers.
Of course. But even on that one you just drew, you would still have a sort of centrifugal force forcing you to the outside of that pivot arm.
No.
Like because it's always changing direction.
Yeah.
So there would still be a sort of centrifugal force, like even though it would be slight, depending how fast it's moving, it would still be going towards the end of the pivot arm.
Slightly.
Yeah. But what was maybe if the rather than the end of the pivot arm was angled slightly upwards to counteract that.
So like here, when you go to the edge here, it would be slightly up like this.
Aye, or just the whole surface.
Like that, so the base would have like a kind of angled wall up like this.
Well, the water, not the whole platform being angled slightly to counteract the centrifugal force. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, like if
so
I had that board like that and I was swinging it round like this, right? So the downward point's going to be there in any given point.
Yeah, but there would still be stuff travelling towards your right hand.
Aye, but look the way that is a swing round. I know what you're saying.
So you would need to counteract that by holding it at an angle, sort of thing.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
Maybe. Aye. I know what you're saying, mate.
Right. That's all I like to say, man.
No worries,
in case somebody points out the fact that the sun is not working in it.
Aye.
Anyway, good to see you again, man.
You too, man. You too. As I say, I'm just asking the questions, mate. I don't have all the answers. I'm just looking for possibilities that conform to the laws of motion and things that we can utilise as practical references in order to try and understand, you know. So I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate you pointing out. Cheers,
mate. Take it easy, mate. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, you too, mate. Exactly, one man, he's the detector. You can check that out, the elevator problem. As I say, when the elevator starts accelerating, you'll get an initial increase in your weight, because as I say, the uniformity is what keeps your weight solid. They're the same, but if you increase that acceleration, you get compressed downwards, so your weight increases. You can take a set of scales onto a lift, put something on it, leave it, and then press the button, and as it starts to move, the weight's going to increase for a split second, and then as it reaches uniformity, it's going to level off to its set weight again. So notice how everybody runs away when you start talking about this stuff. I know it's called acceleration, we're using it as an example. When it starts to accelerate, there's an increase in your weight for a split second. Right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to some of the psychological aspects. What I'm going to show now is this guy who was on the Conspiracy Cats video on the previous, who has put up a video, I was so wrong, the earth definitely isn't flat, and he mentions me in it and yada yada. So we're going to have a wee breakdown of what he's actually said here. I don't need that GIMP. Don't need any of that now. What was that? What is acceleration? Compared to displacement and velocity, acceleration is like an angry fire-breathing dragon of motion variables. It can be violent. Some people are scared of it. If it's big, it forces you to take notice. That feeling you get when you're sitting in a plane during takeoff or slamming on the brakes in a car. Blah blah. Acceleration is the name we give to any process where the velocity changes. Since velocity is a speed and direction, there are only two ways for you to accelerate. Change your speed or change your direction, or change both. I don't know why I had that up there. Anyway, I don't need it right now, maybe in the future. I'm sure we'll have GIMPs that will be requiring a response. minute. Danny from Newcastle, just a thought on the push from reference. Could it be something to do with changes of temperature, like the gravity radiators? I'm falling behind in this one, need to think a bit more, maybe. Temperature can change density, it can create movement of things, definitely. But again, you know, it's no varying temperature is not going to dictate the direction of something falling, what we call falling towards the earth. Because anywhere you go, as I say, you take the apple anywhere or any object anywhere on earth, it falls straight down. It doesn't go to the side, angled or up or any other direction, it comes straight down. Right. So we're moving beyond this. Everybody gets it, hopefully. I'm still going to be open to anybody coming in until I switch off, so by all means, but let me just go on with this right now. Let me see here. Screen share.
Well, this channel has just exploded. Thank you so much for everyone that's just subscribed to me. Absolutely amazing.
I've got it on fast speed. Hold on a minute. Everybody's that subscribed to him, it's absolutely amazing. So again, this guy shows that that's what he's interested in. Wants to be relevant, wants to be popular, wants to be accepted by people, so it gives him a wee thrill that people are subscribing to him.
Just shows when the real truth comes out, people flood in and follow it.
What real truth, son? You make statements on this that you're going to have a discussion. What truth? What facts?
It's got a bit personal. In the Conspiracy Cats video, his sort of interview with me after me coming out, you know, it's caused a bit of a stir.
Don't start invoking all your fuses, it's getting personal. Guys like Conspiracy Cats are making slanderous hit piece videos, ridiculing persons. That's personal. Conspiracy Cats can't focus on objective inquiry because he's a dipshit, lying little lickspittle. So don't try and turn the tables that you're somehow the victim when your wee fanny boyfriend has been partaking in it since he fucking arrived. You don't see that from us. I don't make hit piece videos. I address it head on in regards to the content he's offering me.
And I did mention names, obviously that's now entailed in my name getting mentioned again. Apparently, again, I'm an actor, I'm a shill, I'm Baldy Katz's cousin, we sound alike, but
I don't know what any of that's got to do with the facts.
I understand, obviously, the viewpoint that you guys come from with that, but it's a sad state, I'm afraid, if you're in the mind frame that people are being paid to lie. I mean, who has paid me? Has Baldy Cats paid me off £20,000, or did I come from...
Well, let's not talk about it whether you've been paid or some other reason, duress, whatever it may be. Let's just focus on your reasoning processes. Now, when I address your reasoning processes for why you're going to assert the Earth's a globe, I expect practical references. No personality, you know, or fuses or any of that stuff. Cold, hard, practical references to justify the assertions and the beliefs that you hold. So, where are they?
You know, the school of acting shills. Where do we come from?
You don't need to be an actor. You might just be that retarded and dumb that you can be influenced and swayed.
Do we have family? You know, are we stolen and taken away and have our minds zapped? And
so far, we're a minute and a half into emotional derpitude here of him spewing emotional jargon and offering fuck all facts. Nothing.
We become these like globe defending shills. Please show us evidence. Where's the evidence that money is exchanging hands for us to defend the globe? I can't...
I never asserted anything about money, so that doesn't apply to me. So what I'm just going to do again, as I say, I'm just going to question your reasoning processes and address what you're offering up in regards to practical references for the assertions and the claims. So I'll be looking for them continually, son.
I believe I'm saying this. Like I say, I have 19 videos on here, hours and hours worth of content of me sitting in this very chair defending flat Earth.
So that's him emotionally appealing to you and trying to justify it like he was, you know, he's asserting that he was genuine from the off. That's what he's covering here when he's saying that. He's trying to cover grounds and sway people by asserting, look, I was genuine, and now I've just been swayed by word salad, apparently, because that's all you have. Nothing practical, measurable, demonstrable, nothing.
I'd live a very sad life if I spent all that time lying to hopefully build up a subscription.
People do it all the time, mate. Why are you acting like a naive, lost little kitten again? You don't look that naive. You look as if you've been about a bit and had a few smacks in the fucking snib. So don't act like a naive, lost wee child again. People lie. People will lie to the fucking ends to get whatever they want.
And then turn my back on everyone and suddenly lie that it's a globe. I don't understand. There's so many actors.
You don't understand? That's a common tactic, mate. A common tactic. Get a following, assert yourself to be one way, then go the total opposite in order to dishearten people, because the majority of the populace are emotionally invested in characters. They're not discerning the facts for themselves, so they will be swayed by their authoritative figure, whether it be some mainstream dipshit or some other dipshit on YouTubes.
I don't really know where I'm supposed to sit, if you know what I mean, because...
Here we're back to again. I'm all lost, I'm all innocent, I'm all confused again. Backing up exactly everything I pointed out from the first video, your psychology is very apparent and boring, son. You're no fucking kidding me on, wee sacks. So I would snap out of this wee idiotic fucking act that you're in.
The brother, the actor, I don't know. But
I don't know.
That is all Flat Earth has. Is people sitting there calling me an actor and a shill.
That's all Flat Earth has. People calling him an actor and a shill. What about the fact that it's a demonstrable fact that you're on a level Earth? Every aspect of your being experiences that, Sonny Jim.
But whereas like now I'm on the side of facts and actual, you know, scientific proofs.
So get this, remember that. He's on the side of fact and actual scientific proofs that we've yet to see.
You realise there is...
Remember what he's just said there for one of the next statements that he's going to make. He's on the side of facts and proofs and all that he's obviously assessed and understands, so that he can make the rational discernment that he thinks it's a globe.
No proof for a flat Earth, not one.
Mate, your eye movements and everything get away, right? Wee sacks. As I keep saying to you, it's your experience that you're on the level. That's your experience. The contrary notion is an abstract absurdity that has no proof, no practical demonstrations or anything to support it. So, the contrary claim to my experience is that it's an absurd, curved, wobbling, grotesque nonsense. So people like you are going to have to endeavour by providing practicality in order to rob me of my natural constitution and my discernment and my experience of everyday reality. So I await these magical proofsies that you think you have.
Anything that does ring alarm bells, and there are a lot, because that's why I feel a lot of you have fallen so deep. There's an answer for every one of them.
So a confused mess here that doesn't know his arse from his elbow is now trying to invoke an emotional sway that he's going to save you. Because you're so daft that you've fallen deep into something, then he's going to save you while he sits there going, I don't know my own mind, and
Single one of them, there is an answer. And there's an answer on the spherical side that explains perfectly navigation, tides, everything.
There's an explanation for navigation and tides. Is there really, son? Be specific. What has tides got to do with the shape of the earth? Diddly squat. You're navigating over a level earth. That's the assumption it's made. Unless you're gone by the celestial sphere concept, that's a navigational tool based on human vision. No based on a three-dimensional sphere where you're standing on the surface of it.
Everything works on a sphere. Earthquakes.
Everything works in a sphere. Earthquakes. What the fuck has earthquakes got to do with a spherical earth? Again, nothing. More word salads, idiotic attempts to try and sway people with empty statements.
Nothing works on a flat earth. Nothing at all.
Nothing works on... Everything's working, because that's where we are. We're on the level, son. That's the geometry that's assumed and applied in everyday practicality, or we wouldn't be able to live. So what are you talking about?
But you're led, and as I was, to think that there's proof and evidence of flat earth, being able to see too far in photos, etc., etc.
Etc., etc. Uses a bullshit visible phenomena, which is still a part of it, but you could go to something better. We could go to the substances. We could understand their behaviours. We could understand the assumptions of the geometry that we assume beneath our feet when we're applying everything from navigation to construction.
All explained. I'm not going to sit here and try and explain it because I can't. I'm not a scientist.
So here again, remember the statements he made about the countless proofs and all that? Now he's saying he can't explain any of it because he's not a scientist. So he's shirking responsibility again. He's basically telling you he's not got a fucking brain cell in there to discern anything. So what swayed him then? We're asking the questions. You're making statements of countless proofs that you've obviously addressed, and now you're telling us you can't understand and explain them because you're not a scientist. What you're telling me here, mate, is you're an incompetent, incapable dipshit with empty words, trying to pass it off as genuine. You're a mess.
But I will ask you to go and look at some scientific pages, and they're not evil. They're not satanic.
So he's wanting you to go and look at scientific pages, words on paper, that he doesn't understand because he's made the statement he's not a scientist, but somehow that still managed to sway him, although he's not a scientist, he's sane. So the words on paper have swayed him. Again, I'm looking at your reasoning processes and they just don't add up, sonny boy. So by addressing your reasoning processes, I see that there's some other ulterior motive at play here. Because your reasoning processes and your logic are fucking idiotic. So you're either just thick as fuck, or as I say, there's an ulterior wee agenda at play with you, sonny Jim. And again, I don't need to make assertions about money passing hands or you're under duress because of whatever. I'm only looking at the reasoning that you're offering me here. And it doesn't make sense.
Worshippers, and we're not all here to try and deceive and deceit you all. I promise. I promise.
Well, he promises. He promises.
The world is not that fucked up. I'm sorry, I'm saying
but
that.
We're back to the he's going to apologise for swearing as if that somehow lends credence to his genuine soft-heartedness. The world's not that fucked up. No worries, son. If you had a look, back to the naive imbecile again. Oh, the world's not that fucked up. It's actually quite stable and rational. Really?
Apologies. It isn't. It isn't. It's messed up completely. I still, Freemasons probably still do run everything. There's an elite paedophile ring out there. I get it. I know it all. But I thought I knew too much, and you start to believe more or less every conspiracy becomes true.
No, again, he's generalising and looking away, showing all the telltale signs that he's uncomfortable and telling barefaced fucking lies. At the very least, he's invoking logical fallacies and making general sweeping statements. What an idiot.
It does. I was in that mindset, and I think probably if you're thinking the Earth is flat, you probably do believe in a lot of other conspiracies.
That's because that's the propaganda at work, trying to label and attach all sorts of nonsense to people who question the validity of the globe heliocentric concept. So that was part of what I spoke about from the beginning, and why you didn't need to drag in all the other stuff to it. Because the beauty of this topic is that it's in everybody's hands. The discernment is yours. You are the scientist. Unlike 9/11s and all this other stuff that are no relevant to you because you don't live them, you don't experience them, you're taking everything on second-hand information and trying to discern from there.
To say, my name was mentioned on Dell's channel, Beyond the Imaginary Curve.
I don't know your name, son. Your name wasn't mentioned.
And apparently I'm an actor. I'm a shill.
Well, again, I don't recall that, but I'll say it right now. Based on your reasoning processes, you either are acting and willfully participating with some ulterior motive, or you're just as thick as shit. Because that's based on what you've shown me here. I don't know and I don't understand because I'm not a scientist, but there's thousands of proofs that I don't understand that have swayed me to believe it's a globe, and you can read the words that other men have put on paper to sway you. Trust me. Wow.
I called him out and said that he knows that we live on a sphere. I don't know that he knows that. He may well still think that the Earth is flat.
The Earth's a level plane, demonstrably, son.
And I will apologise for that if I've called someone a con man and they believe the Earth is flat.
I'm a con man, although I take nothing off anybody. What am I trying to con you to?
But now, sitting where I am now, and obviously knowing and understanding and having a level of knowledge...
Oh, he knows and understands and has a level of knowledge, you know that. Now he's flipped again. Now he's a discerning individual. Where a minute ago he was a confused mess.
It's still low, but it's high enough to know that we live on a sphere. His
level of intelligence is low, but it's high enough to know he lives on a sphere. Again, can we direct your reasoning processes to some point of reference in the way of practicality that could show me that it's a justifiable reasoning process that you're maintaining? How about that, Sonny Jim?
I'm sure Dell is above that line.
Dell's way above it, Sonny boy. That's how I can rip the shots right off you with ease.
But if he isn't, I'm sorry. I'll happily have a discussion with you. A live debate discussion.
I'm here right now. Objective reality is not up for debate. I'll have a discussion with you. Send me an email right now. Go on. Click the link. What do you want to know? I'll put it in the chat again. It's there. If you fancy it, you can come on and have that discussion with me. I suggest that you're going to shite your wee knickers and run away and make stuff up that I'm going to bully you and intimidate you, through the screen.
Let's not try and trip each other up.
Let's not try and trip each other up. No, son, I'm going to tear apart your faulty reasoning. Because your reasoning is not rooted in something practical. There's no practical references.
Questions that you ask that are verging on embarrassing.
The questions that I ask are verging on embarrassing without any particular specifics.
I was when I used to get my football out and try and get a specular highlight and prove that my football proved that the moon was illuminating itself. And I'm talking about getting plastic bottles out, all the curves that way up.
So here we go again. Here we see again a blatant attempt to ridicule practical references of a known substance and its behaviours. He somehow thinks that a demonstration of a practical known substance is idiotic.
I'm asking someone can you bend the bottle and make this water curve? a critically thinking man, intellectually
hear this.
Honest man, knows that it's impossible to be able to repeat an experiment like that.
Oh, is that right? Oh, so we can make assertions and claims, but we can't demonstrate it. Let's have a wee look here, shall we? Let's see something. Pseudoscience. Let's have a wee look at that. Oh, let's see what the wiki definition of that is. Consists of statements, beliefs and practices that are claimed to be both scientific and factual, but are incompatible with the scientific method. Pseudoscience is often characterised by contradictory, exaggerated or unfalsifiable claims, reliance on confirmation bias rather than rigorous attempts at refutation. So, bodies of water, the substance known as water can fucking bend and conform to the exterior of shapes and objects, but no, I can't show you it because I need to get out the reference frame in order to show you. Pseudoscience, dick sniffer. Hang on. Please don't send me messages privately when I'm on live. It's just going to confuse me. Hold on a minute.
I could ask you, prove water can't stick to a ball. The only way you could repeat that
I can. It doesn't stick to a ball, you fucking idiot. Wait to hear this now. The only way you can prove it is...
experiment is to create a ball as big as the Earth.
Oh, this is science. I'm making a claim. I can't demonstrate it to you within the reality, the reference frame that we actually exist. I have to be removed from the reference frame, i.e. actual reality, in order for my claims to be valid. What a complete and utter lying, idiotic shit stain you are, sonny boy.
And you can't do that, Del.
You can't do it. I can demonstrate to you how the substance behaves. You think that's idiotic though. You think it's rational and sane to believe a substance can behave a certain way, but you can't demonstrate it, but you can assert that it's true because an imaginary reference frame suggests that it's possible. Although we can't ever get to the imaginary reference frame. What a stupid cunt you are.
Nobody can make water bend. And you just walk around.
Exactly. You can't make water bend. And I just walk around pointing that out to people and you somehow get a problem with that.
Indoctrinating people.
Oh, I'm indoctrinating people. I'm on the street having discussion. That's no indoctrination, you complete and utter shit sniffer. Going to school and having the same jargon repeated over and over and over again is mind control, brainwashing, indoctrination. You don't even understand the words you're using. You've got to be the thickest cunt I have ever came across in this subject.
The lowest of the low in my eyes.
You're the lowest of the low. You're a fucking shit stain on my shoe. Your intellect is fucking zilch. Zero. That's probably why you've got a bashed up snib, son. That's all you're good for. A journeyman. A punching bag.
Calling out someone for being a teacher and spreading lies when you're...
That's right, and I'll assert it again. Conspiracy Cats is a lying, shit-stained toe rag. Perpetuating pseudoscientific jargon and trying to impart that onto vulnerable children that end up like you, a confused mess. And swayed by his pseudo-intellectual superiority and authoritarian attitude. Pavlov's dogs. That's you, sonny boy. A wee moron.
Be allowed on the grounds in the school, would you? You're just...
I wouldn't be allowed on the grounds in the school. Why? I'm an upstanding guy. I do not cause loss or harm to any human being. I have no record of such. And never will. Because it's no in me. What are you talking about? I don't go lying to fucking children. That's you and your dipshit pals that you're going to rhyme off in a wee minute.
Them around the gates with your little plastic bottle.
Displaying a substance, a practical reference of everybody's reality that you think's ridiculous, and that you can make assertions and reference frames that we don't exist in. Wonderful.
90% of the people you talk to probably just walk away, don't they? You know, you
No.
have to edit it.
No, I don't edit anything. The only thing I put in is the Beyond Imagery cover at the beginning and the end, and a wee caption to say, thank you very much.
The outtake.
Have you ever seen any of these people coming to the comment section and saying, oh, by the way, you've edited that in such a way to make it look like this? No, because it doesn't happen. You're complete and utter FUD. Again, you're making assertions and statements without any specifics. Gaslighter, bullshitter, narcissist.
Does make me a little bit angry, and I don't want it to get that way. But in a way, also, I know that the truth prevails, truth spreads, and even if it's through Dell's channel, I can infiltrate it.
Oh, fucking, he's going to infiltrate my channel with his confused, wee boyish, naive attitude and his pseudoscience invocations of reference frames that we don't exist in. Good luck with that, Sonny Jim.
And get some people that are on the fence and on the edge. You do get too far. I got way too far down the rabbit hole.
That's because you're a knob. That's because you're easily influenced, son. You've openly admitted on this one and your conspiracy cats that you're not in control of your own faculties. So it's no wonder you get pushed from pillar to post with wherever you place your attention, because you're gullible. As I say, it's that or you're a lying little shit.
And there is a rabbit hole. There really is a rabbit hole. And if you believe the Earth is flat, unfortunately...
There's a rabbit hole called globular heliocentrism. A rabbit hole of nonsensical jargons, word salads, equations, ad hoc gibberish, endlessly.
You are down that hole. I'm just going to have a look at a few other things now. As some people say, I'm looking at my script, my professional sort of BBC level. Like, yeah, do you know what I mean? These are just things I've jotted down to talk.
Look how real I am, look how real, I'm convincing you I'm realsies. Because I've got this compulsive need to please everybody.
You know, but scripted. But who's paying me? Like, honestly, if I was sitting...
Why do you keep jumping to that you would have to be getting paid? Why do you keep asserting that you would have to be bullshitting because you're getting paid? So say you're either thick as fuck or there's some other ulterior motive that we just don't know about. But again, based on your reasoning processes, there's two things at play. Either there is an ulterior motive that you're not telling us, or you're just as thick as pig shit. So, it's no good for you either way, son.
Being paid to lie, I wouldn't be paying me. I'd sack myself, to be honest.
Because you're thick.
I'm angry. It's because I've been there, and now obviously being sort of called out. I only watched about 3.5 minutes of that video, to be honest, because as soon as you started, you know, accusing Baldy Cats of like lying to children.
Baldy Cats is a liar. He makes assertions and claims about our objective reality and has nothing to reference it. No practicality whatsoever. That's a liar. That's somebody who perpetuates and pushes pseudoscience.
And things and knowing what you get up to, like running around with.
Well, I got up to, I know, there we go again, I'm a big baddie. I got up to practical references. I know I'm evil. That big evil bastard that makes statements and then displays it with a practical reference. I mean, what am I like?
Water bottles, indoctrinating people on the streets. It is silly. It's
again, in order to indoctrinate them, I'd have to have them in my attention repetitively for a long period of time, son.
It's disgusting behaviour.
Oh, I'm absolutely vulgar, me, ain't I? I mean, I approach people with manners and respect and decency in the street, and I invoke a discussion with them about relevant aspects of topics that are being discussed. I mean, I'm such an evil wrongdoer.
Yeah, this wasn't really... I was going to take a couple of days to kind of plan this out a little bit more, but I thought I've got to keep going. So many subscribers come my way.
Oh, he's got to keep going. He's got an audience to feed now. He's on a bandwagon. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, loving it, lapping it up. He's on a mission. He's got a messiah complex. He's going to save all you bewildered fuckers from big evil baddies like me.
I need to obviously keep it going. The more people that share this, the quicker that we can end this, because it is stopping us as a...
Listen, mate, your propaganda hit piece nonsense is not going to end anything. What about people like me that have been shouting from the off? Why have we got globe proponents, zealots, displaying their cult-like, fanatical behaviours, utilising propaganda and hit pieces, slandering good people, making barefaced lies up about them, including your wee baldy pal, who is a proponent of it? Why are they not open the discussion up? Why is it not an objective inquiry with practical references laid out on the table to support every assertion and assumption that people have been making? So don't come the Messiah goody shit with me, you wee fanny.
As a race moving forward now, it's holding so many people back. I saw a comment the other day, like, in every flat earther...
Oh no, because you question objective reality, you're holding the human race back. This is another fallacious reasoning pish that you use. That by you questioning your objective reality, you're somehow holding the human race back. No, the dipshits that are ruling the place are holding us back, you fanny. Holding back on technological advancements, health, other aspects of technological advancement that could free us, liberate us. Why we no reinstating the liberal arts into proper education systems? Why we no empowering people? Why no freeing people from the shackles of slavery so that they can be free to express and explore each other? What about that, you wee fucking lying shit stain? That's no people like me that are keeping people oppressed. You're complete and utter fanny stick.
Scientist, and
I'm angry. You deserve an arse smack in the snib, you wee creepy cunt.
True, because we all can be, and I'm sure if you went along those paths, you'll realise no one's taking you in a dark room and telling you that actually the Earth's flat and you've got to spend the rest of your life lying about it.
No, they're just doing it in rooms all across the fucking world. Classrooms, we call them, where proper indoctrination happens, where they tell children that bodies of water bend round the outside of objects because magical fucking voodoo forces. But forget all that. Forget that. Let's ridicule the people that ask honest questions and represent statements with practical references.
It's ridiculous.
You're ridiculous, son.
Curvature
You're
has
a
been
joke.
measured. Rotation's been measured.
Curvature's been measured, rotation's been measured. Where? Two statements that have just been made by you, assertions. Now get your wee creepy hole in here and give me those measurements. Where did they happen? Where are you? You're not here.
Ships disappear from the bottom up.
Oh, I've never heard that before. Was this the scientific proofsies? I see something, and I just emit human vision and just make assertions.
There's so many observations and proofs.
You keep saying that
of a globe.
Where?
And nothing else for flat Earth.
Where?
Something a guy said to me the other day. It was actually on Facebook when I came out on there and just said, "Look, guys, I was wrong. I shared my video." And then a guy that I'd always sort of debated, kind of verging on arguing with. Obviously,
what were you arguing with him about and debating? What were you debating for? You ain't showing your stupidity. And I thought you weren't that clever that you could understand things. So what were you doing in the first place, son?
Defending the ball. He used to work on ships and be a navigator, and obviously now I realise exactly why he was defending his stance.
He works on ships and he's a navigator and he's asserting that the geometry that he assumes is a curve. Go and get this clown.
But he said, the most intelligent humans on the planet have argued and debated and researched for thousands of years.
Oh, here we go with the appeal to authority and consensus, mere emotional sway. Come on, son, you're so fucking obvious. All that means diddly squat. Diddly squat.
Reach the level of fact and understanding that we have now. Who are you going to believe? Those or some idiot YouTube influencers? Now my mind's straight. I know who I'm going to believe.
His mind, he knows his mind. He's went from flip-flopping, he's confused, he doesn't understand, and now he's asserting that his mind's straight and assertive and all that or something.
But yeah, that's good. That's a short, quick one tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the follows, like I say.
The only people that are going to follow you are woefully ignorant cretins. If you're content and you can put your head in your pillow at night, happy that you're being followed by people who are just as dumb, if no dumber than you, that's brilliant. It means fuck all to people like me though, sack sniffer.
Sorry, I'm rambling a bit. My head's still spacey.
I'm going to be changing from now on. I'm not going to be sweary and aggressive and all that. I'm going to be calm, rational, and I'll not be saying things like sack sniffer. I will instead refer to you as a sampler of crotch area aroma, so that it's no offensive or something.
Like I say, but I know I've got to carry this on. It's made a massive impact. That video, well, my last couple of videos are probably together now getting towards 40,000 views.
Oh, and he's all tickled about it. He's brilliant. Oh, I can talk rubbish and I'll get 40,000 views. Ooh, I'm coming in my wee Superman pants. It's brilliant.
Keep them going, please. Please spread it. You're going to see me on some other channels as well.
Here we go, my predictions. What was my predictions?
Just need to do some shout outs actually. Bob the Science Guy who mirrored my video, thank you.
Bob the Science Guy is a fanny, like you. He has fuck all.
Phil Blacker.
Another one.
Blacker, Blacka. Go and follow him. His channel's brilliant as well.
Brilliant.
Jose Gonzalez.
Jose, where's fucking Jose? Predicted that as well.
You, Mr. Sensible. Fight the Flat Earth.
Fight the Flat Earth, fat tits. Fuck's sake. He's rhyming them all.
MC Toon, Team Skeptic.
The dipshits that waffle crap. Bye. Right, shut that one down. I'll start another one. It's amazing, isn't it? These people. As I say, this is the level. This is where it's got. If you wish to join me, I promise I won't swear. I promise to try and not swear. I'm embarrassed for him as well, Chris. No, Dave Finko, I don't have plan B. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about. All this fear mongering. Oh, create a BitChute account and create a fucking this, that and the other and blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. See if you type in anything, right, and you go to videos, does it offer you up D-tubes and BitChutes or any of that? No, it fucking doesn't. Does not. So what are they trying to get you today? Fearmonger you into going to these places and taking your wee cult with you so that you're isolated in some fucking other platform that nobody really pays any attention to. You're not going to get new people. You're just going to get your wee echo chamber on fucking D-tube or BitChute or something. I can't be fucked with that. The reason I utilised YouTube is because there was the opportunity for anybody to maybe find you. I'm not going to find you on fucking DickTube or any of that stuff. So be very careful of that. Oh, YouTube this, that and the other. Oh, they're going to do this and you need to go here. So everybody's running. Making fucking BitChutes and whatever the fuck else it is. If you type level earth or flat earth or anything into the Google search or any, it's not going to offer you up any of these BitChutes or anything. You'll just be in some wee fucking corner, somewhere with your wee echo chamber, living it up, getting super chats. If they shut my channel down, fuck it. I've done what I've done. I've gave you what I've gave you for the last 5 and a bit years of my life, in the hope that it would make a difference, and that's all I could ever have asked for. So I'm not going to run about making fucking BitTubes so you can super chat me and all that and tell me I'm great. No spanks. We'll see what happens with us on the 10th stuff. It'll probably just be that you have to be set to 18 or something. I highly doubt that they're going to pull the channels. If they do the day, fuck it. So say damage has been done, I will continually pursue it in the reality anyway. Cheers, Des, and anybody else that's saying that. Everybody that got something from what I offered you. That was the whole incentive. The whole incentive behind me doing it was purely for that. And in the hopes that we would get to a point where I could realise that, you know, my hope that we could have the exploration of this, that we could break out of this idiotic, emotionally impulsive mind state that they've got people locked in, so that we're rational and discerning and we can achieve great things as a race and no let the minority of dipshits have rule. It's going to be a burning passion in me to the day I die that I want to know the fuck I am. Regardless of what happens in YouTube's. Hello. I went away.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, Del.
How's it going, mate?
It's Frank, yeah.
How you doing?
Alright. Yeah, good, interesting show. Like, I look at these people, and it hasn't just started happening now, but what these platforms are doing is they're called content creators. You're not a content creator. I'm not. I've just used it to get me opinions across and whatever. You wouldn't consider yourself a producer. I work in graphic design, that's my job. I wouldn't consider myself a YouTube content creator.
No.
But I spend a lot of time there. And they pluck these people. I asked a question before. You go into these shows, they have a premiere tonight. The Flat Earth's going to get fucking smashed. And there's the special guest from Flat Earth, fucking Billy Nomar. I've never heard of them, you know. I've never heard of these people.
Yeah.
These hosts have created themselves a platform now, as Yonder, where the whole issue is being forgot about. Yeah. The actual scientific exploration, the logic, you know, the reality has been forgot about. It's all about. You can compare it with music and the media.
Yeah.
A band used to be good and get signed. Now you can be shit, but as long as some people vote for you,
well, that's it.
It doesn't matter if you're good or not. As long as people don't vote for you on the phone.
And that's what you say. That's what you say. They're all running about interviewing each other. Oh, look at how great we are. This, that, and the other. Fucking building a big network of fucking, you know, celebrities.
It's a microcosm of what's going on in the outside world.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the real world because it's fucking far from real.
Exactly.
But it's a microcosm of it. Is that these people who are on the telly? I mean, I'm not saying back in the day like an old man or whatever, but when a celebrity or a star was a star and people all bought into it, they were fucking stars. We were on a different level to what you are, whether that was right or wrong. And we all bought into it, and we all had fucking heroes and whatever. Yeah. But that was what society was meant to be. Now, you can have a shit that's 2.5 foot long, and you'd be on Good Morning Britain in the morning talking to Piers Morgan because you're a fucking superstar shitter.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
And that's going to get you an agent and a fucking Boss Christmas.
Exactly.
But the world's not fucking changing in the meantime, and people are talking about this kind of shit. And I've seen it in this realm. So I've been around a couple of years now, and you know, I'm not a fucking paid. You know, I haven't served my time or nothing like that. But I've seen people now who are content creators who've chosen a side, who've got fed up with Trump and Q and the Patriot fucking scam, and they're moving into this because these other fellas like Fat Craig and Katz and Dan, they've set up a nice little platform for all these fellas to come in and show the fucking wealth. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, mate.
You shout me out, I'll come on your show.
That's it.
Let's find some soft cunt who used to believe in flat earth. Who is he? I never heard of him, don't care. Just get him on, get him to say it, get the fucking super chats in.
That's it, mate. That's it.
And that's how it works.
That's it. They're not interested in, you know, empowering people and having them discern them properly. As I said before, it's like an attempt to maintain the same mindsets as we transition and move through all these topics, where the same patterns unravel, you know. So you've now got elite circles of the inner circle in this group, and their wee hang-ons in the outer circle, and they're all helping each other, and
that's the whole vibe that's getting lost, is creating groups and forming groups to discuss through history, is what people like us did.
Yeah.
And it was never used for personal gain.
No.
It was used to promote a fucking better life for everybody else and to share your experience.
Exactly.
These people are doing it not because of anything else other than it's a fucking earner, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that goes, and to me, I hate sitting there and I hate thinking like, you know, red pill, fucking blue pill, whatever it is, all the little fucking phrases they've got, you know, to cover you. But for me, this, I hate to think about it, but this sucks, it fucking screams out that this is a planned, highly fucking sophisticated network of people who are out to fucking earn money by just being contrary about whatever they can be.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, at the same time, pushing agendas, obviously, though. You know, I mean, there is an aspect of that. So by pushing the agendas, you get personal gains if you're aligning to the agenda that's to be pushed. So,
but you see that, you know, this is Billy from, he's got his own platform, he's got 20,000 subs.
Yeah.
But I'm inviting him in now to fucking slag Flat Earth off. Yeah. Now, Billy brings his fucking right-wing mates with him from his channel.
That's it.
They're in the chat, they're super chatting, and before you know, it just becomes like they are one big massive fucking sponge, a parasite fucking sponge.
Exactly.
On the end. That's all they are.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. You know, and they're making money off of the backs of people like me that have a bit of integrity, that have walked that walk and not asked anybody for anything. And these dipshits will come in making propaganda, slagging you off, ridiculing you, while at the same time turning a coin off your back. They're cheeky wee vagrant cunts as far as I'm concerned.
But what they'll also do, Del, is they'll use this platform. Now, since I fucking remember YouTube, I don't know how long, it's nearly 20 years now or something, I haven't got a clue. But it's always going to be fucked. It's always finishing tomorrow. Yep. YouTube's finished tomorrow. Yep. That's been happening for 10 years as far as I know. Yep. And we're still here. But what they want to do is they want to open other avenues. So you can have your YouTube channel with 30,000 subs. But what about having a Discord channel with 30,000 subs as well at the same time? Yeah. And you can do two platforms, get double the dickheads and double the money.
That's it.
It's like franchising a fucking a train of thought, an opinion.
And as I said about all these other platforms, they're trying to usher people into them by the scare tactics of what's going to happen to YouTube. But these other places are just wee echo chambers that are no, you know, they're not going to show up in the search engines anywhere. So you're not going to reach anybody new.
If you go onto Discord, it's like going back fucking 15 years on the internet. It's full of fucking divvies. Absolutely full of knobheads. And not only that, these fellas who come across as knobheads, they've got a brain. Yeah. You can find the address and phone number and fucking what school your kids go to in 10 minutes. And they think that's a win. Yeah. And by taking you to Discord, it leaves your information more open. I don't care what anyone says, it does. People can find out about you on YouTube. If they're telling you to go to other places, they're telling you to go there for a reason. Exactly. And it's not to go there and have a nice little gab with them. No. That's all I'll say, you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
So this medium will do for me, as it is now. Exactly. I couldn't be asked, you know, investigating another one and setting another one up and making sure it works and seeing who's there and whatever. If this dies, it dies. It was fucking...
Well, it's only
like the Labour Club shutting down. It was a great place to go, and there's no place like it to go anymore. It's gone.
And that's it for me, you know, when it's gone, it's gone. It's I'm not going to run about, you know, I'm not wanting to be a celebrity, I don't want to take super chats off anybody, so I'm just going to continue to walk my walk in the real world as I always do. I'll still be going to universities, I'll still be prodding and trying to, you know, get exposure to this and put these people in a position. So as I've always said, that's not going to happen through YouTube's. YouTube's was just a means to an end in regards to a meeting point and maybe getting new people.
It's been a great medium. I mean, like yourself, you know, you've shown it in action, and I've done it myself. Yeah. You know, getting stopped by coppers and that, and knowing what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
You know, people come to your channel and learn a lot about that. I know, and I've seen you doing it in action, and that helps a lot of people. So it's not just about being a dickhead who believes the earth isn't a ball. Stuff like this, your channel, is giving a lot more information by people coming on just talking like I am now about not flat earth, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, mate.
But the whole business, I'm still puzzled what's happened to this fucking high profile bus light, so it's all gone fucking quiet. Unless YouTube have stopped sending me stuff about it. But when they were begging for dough, and when they were fucking chasing priests and getting nicked in the dam and that, it was all over the place. Now, I don't know. Who's paying for these fuckers? Who's paying for fucking Dave? Basically Dave, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
Who's paying for it to be in Denver, then go to fucking Birmingham, and then sheet over to Stockholm for a few days?
Exactly.
Like he hasn't fucking slept in a nice bed for a month, you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
Where did he get the funds out? That's all I ask.
Aye, exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, I've heard my concerns about all that stuff, so...
I'm sorry anyway, but I just wanted to weigh in on the whole fucking knobheads coming from nowhere thing, because the first thing I look for is, who is it? Who's the guest? And how come I don't know? Because there's a few of us and we get around and we fucking dip in places, and these people, hand on my heart, the guests that these people have, I've never seen them in any other fucking realm apart from when you've landed as a guest on these shows.
Yeah. You know, mate.
And basically, they're there to talk shite and be made a cunt of.
Well, you can see that. It's obvious when you tear apart the reasoning and what the contradictions and the statements that they're making, just as I showed. It's a shambles. Total fucking shambles.
It's mad. And, you know, I don't know, I think people enjoy a night like this where you can get it off your chest and expose that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's getting back to the fucking decent stuff, Gav's stuff and your stuff, you know. The push-pull fucking, all that stuff is what should be. Never mind if people aren't asked about it or whatever, and they say it can't be. You can sit here, you can slag people off for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And you tear them in your arsehole every 5 minutes.
That's
But the other stuff is knowledge. And I will always fucking appreciate you and Gav for supplying the fucking knowledge as well as the reality.
And that's the difference again, just, you know, touching on the slagging people off. When I say, you know, sack sniffer, I'm not calling somebody a sack sniffer in order to sway other people's opinions of them. I'm calling people a sack sniffer based on the reasoning and the contradictions in their reasoning that they're offering me. So it's not like an ad hominem sway to convince other people or anything like that, but they use it exactly for that. You know, they
What
utilise...
people understand as well, though, is there's a great line, Jerry Cinnamon is a new one. He's a decent kid, like singer, no agent, no manager, no nothing. He's fucking smashing it from your end, Glasgow.
Nice.
And he wrote a great song called Diamond in the Mud. And there's a line in it. It's about Glasgow. And I've said it, if I ever wrote a song about my city, I'd love it to be that one. It's a great tune. But there's a line in it that says, Glasgow, it's a place where a cunt may no be a put down.
Exactly.
And that's how I live my life. Because I can call me man a soft cunt.
Exactly.
People don't get that.
He's a good cunt, him. I like him. He's a nice cunt. I like that cunt.
Where I am, if anyone says something, you first reply if you don't agree, is fuck off, you soft cunt. Do you know what I mean? And that's not hostile, that's just the way you talk.
Exactly.
So fuck off, you body sniffer and your ball sniffer and all that. I get that. These people are up in arms because they live in some kind of fucking
naive bubble. Aye. They live in a wee naive fucking politically correct fucking isolated, you know, bubble.
Yeah. Well, anyway, fuck them that anyway. So I just come on to throw in a bit, and it's been a while. So if I don't see you before, and everyone else, have a good Christmas and keep it up, mate. Don't let the bastards get you down. See you soon.
Cheers, Frank. Cheers, man. So the opportunity's still there. I'm still here. just come back again. You know, motion, direction. You need to keep asking these questions. You know, when we talk, people talk about gravity, they're invoking it as a cause of direction and motion. You know, you have to ask the questions, what's the physicality, what are the mechanical interactions of that process then? How can we reference it? What's moving to where? How's something interacting with something else? And you'll start to see that it's pseudoscience, it's conceptual jargon, bullshit that's been, you know, invented to, you know, lend weight to an already existing abstract concept. So, again, hopefully, you know, you realise some things out of that, and you're not scared to take the investigation there because of what you've heard in regards to propaganda. Don't let that sway you. I was in your dreams today, Elkarchi, asking for weed. I hope I was fully clothed in that dream, sorry. Frank's channel is Spirit of Longthorn. I don't know if he's got anything on there, to be honest with you. The poker night happened last Friday. Again, I meant to mention that at the beginning, just to say thanks to everybody that showed up. You see, there was people that came from, you know, down south. You know, a few people came up. A few people that came from, you know, the east side of Scotland that travelled a fair bit, and it was great. It was good chat again, as usual. It's always nice to be in an environment with people that don't have an agenda. There's no one-upmanship, it's not a pissing contest. Just people having free-flowing discussions, you know, without things being asserted and defend and attack and all that rubbish. It was great. So, thanks to everybody that came. Hopefully we'll do it again soon. Maybe next time we'll play some more poker. You know, but it's always good just to have the chat anyway, you know. No, Martin, you used to pay attention. Jordan won the game of poker. I was second, but you know, there was too much chat going on, so you can't really class it as a real game of poker. So we can't gauge anything for that, you know. I was decent, was I? Sunday, that's good. Good to know. I'll sleep easy knowing that. No, Cheris, they can't prove anything. Ah, everybody had a wee smoke. That has, Matt. So second, aye. Well, you could say that Spirit of Longthorn. Right, 5 minutes. If anybody wants to join me, I'm going to get off because I've not really got anything else to say. We've covered it all. We've seen the dishonesty. Again, if you understand your own reasoning processes, you understand the workings of your own mind, your own character traits, you can see it in these other people. Don't be swayed by the emotional impression that they're trying to make. Tear apart the wordage that they're using. Look for the inconsistency in their statements that they're making, and you can see the agenda that they're pushing, where they're trying to sway. Because that boy that we witnessed there, and like many of the others, they're not offering you objective facts, real world demonstrable practical references. They're utilising sophistry, NLP. They're manipulative. They're trying to sway you by emotional means. So if you find yourself being swayed on an emotional level, you need to catch yourself on. You bought a Nissan for 10 grand and the engine blew up, Cheris. Get it fixed or sell it to me. What's you want for it? Ah, cheers, Dave Finkel. That's it, eat. You know, everybody's caught up in their own subjective bubble, and everybody's trying to project their subjective bubble onto everybody else, because human beings don't have the capacity or the ability to separate and identify their subjectivity with objectivity. So this is what's happening on a mass level. Everything's being utilised and ran by subjective influence constantly, playing on the emotions and the subjective psyche of people, rather than anything that's in the public arena, like, you know, public representatives should be focused solely on objectivity. What are the requirements we need? What benefits us? What progresses us? And that's it. But what you see en masse is subjective influence, newspapers, politics, parliament, it's everywhere. Things are not based on reason and logic and rationality. It's based on emotionally impulsive influence. Scare tactics, fear mongering. It's the blue light, Bob Broski, don't worry about it. If you seen me in reality, you would see I was a sexy bastard. You wouldn't have slept either if you had two boys like mine. As I say, I can't get a full night's sleep because there's always one who'll end up in the bed. Usually the wee man, and he doesn't sleep, you know, longitudinally like the rest of us normal folks. Nah, he sleeps horizontally and pokes you in the balls, the eyeballs, the nostrils, with his fucking toes and his toenails all night. This is the large dog kennel. I'm actually thinking that I might need to get a bed in here so that I can get a decent night's kip. The wee bastards would probably still get up and come out here and come into that bed and sleep across the way. Am I tickling your tinky winky stars and bars, am I? You getting your wee tinky winky tickled? Right, nobody's coming in, so I'm just going to shut that down now. Shut it all down in a minute. What date are we on? So I've got 5 days. I'll be back on before the 10th, the big Armageddon day. Maybe for a big hurrah or whatever. So what are we on the 5th? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Tuesday's the 10th, is it then? Is that right? Aye, 6th, 7th, 8th. Aye. I'll be back on before that. I'm just, as I say, I'm getting the Saturdays I miss for 2 weeks, a couple of weeks away from it, because you know, unless I'm usually opening up the Saturday just to, you know, have conversations with whoever randomly without any real, you know, topic on the table, and I'm always looking to have something that kind of stimulates, but we've not really been getting much of that, so we'll keep it going for however, but I needed a wee couple of weeks away from it, so. Anyway, thank you all very much. Cheers to everybody that came on. As I say, always hopefully you got something out of it. Keep thinking about it. Don't be swayed by propaganda or bullshit. You discern for yourself. If you see propaganda surrounding anything, ask yourself why and go and needle it to see what you can uncover, because somebody's trying to hide something for you. Alright? So, take care of yourselves now. Bye bye.